Hello, hello. It's um, it's your midweek Macca break. I'm Tom Hunyadi from Two Legs. Hope everybody is doing well, and let me know who's out there watching, and we'll get this party started. So, again, hopefully everybody is doing well. I just got over some sickness myself. About 2 days after I got back from New Jersey, I started feeling pretty shitty. You could probably tell. Last week, but when I was live, but doing much better, and feel recharged and ready to go. So we've got Ronald. Hello, good afternoon to you, sir. And Tony, how you doing, Tony? Yeah, Julian's celebrated birthday 62. That's crazy. Wow, 62 years old. Anyways, so as you can see behind me here, I'm displaying a few things I picked up at the fest for Beatles fans. That frisbee was a off the ground promotional piece given to Wink 104, and I'll be showing the singles from the All the Best promotional piece that Joe Mayo was nice enough to sell me while we were doing the collectors panel at the Fest for Beatles fans. So, and unfortunately, people didn't get to see that one because they only do the virtual fest inside the Grand Ballroom, which hopefully one day we can change that, and people can get virtual tickets for the panels because there's a lot of good panels. Don't forget to check out our latest episode with Alan Kozin and Adrian Sinclair as we celebrated 50 years of Venus and Mars, which I'm wearing one of the shirts that was just offered. This is the black one, and I had the red one as well, but very nice. I like it. I'm not the biggest fan of these styles of shirts, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. So, and what's another shirt, right? This is probably, I don't know how many McCartney shirts I have. Maybe, I would imagine it's getting close to 100 now. But anyways, let's get that up there. So, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? It was wonderful to see your panel. Yeah, thank you, Alan and Adrian. Thank you, Tony. It was a lot of fun to do. We decked out the room with Venus and Mars stuff. So that was a lot of fun. Brad, hey Brad. Hi Tom, I'm working. I'll have to watch the replay. Hi to you and everybody. Thanks for being here, my friend. I appreciate you taking the time, saying hi. And yeah, if you can watch later, that'd be great. That would be great. So I'm going to do this one on my own here, and this week and next week, Aaron Badgley will be back to join me. As you know, Aaron was the author of Dark Horse Records, the story of George Harrison's post-Beatles record label. So if you haven't got that, check it out. And we've got Mike here. Hello, Mike. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Thanks for popping in. So we'll get to the All the Best promotional piece here in a few minutes. Get a few more people here, and I'll just show everything that comes in this bad boy. So, anyways, so what else is out there? What else is going on? The next round of SHM CDs have been announced, and unfortunately, as we know, London Town, Back to the Egg, Press to Play, and Broad Street have not been included in the third wave. Who knows? Ted, what's going on, buddy? Glad you're here. But yeah. Hey, Tim. Yes, thank you. All the best to you as well. Very good. Very good. But yeah. So it's odd that that those four that those four albums keep getting just pushed over, set aside for other releases. Could it be because they're going to get an archive series release, or does he just not like those albums? Who knows? But um, we shall see. We shall see. I'm seeing the 101 Johnny Yoko movie tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going tomorrow night as well. Going to a 6 p.m. showing of that, and looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to picking up the EP that's coming out on Record Store Day. To coincide with that, and to coincide with the bigger box set coming out later this year for John's birthday. So yes, absolutely. So looking forward to that. I did get to see a couple movies last week that were pretty good. But yes, looking forward to seeing that tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. What else? So here it is. The All the Best promotional. As you can see, special edition for promotion only, not for sale. This is something I've known about for several years now, about 5-6 years, and been looking for, but now I have it. So here's the front. Then on the back you'll see the titles included. You got My Love, Another Day, Jet, Band on the Run, Ebony and Ivory, Say, Listen to What the Man Said, Live and Let Die, Let 'Em In, Good Night Tonight, With a Little Look, Coming Up, Silly Love Songs, Sea Moon, No More Lonely Nights, Pipes of Peace, and then Moloch and Tyre, and We All Stand Together. So all those 45s are in this set. Okay. Says here on the bottom, see if we can get there. Here we go. This box contains original tracks featured on the Paul McCartney album, All the Best. These singles are for promotional purpose only and not for sale. Okay, so then this pops up like this, and the first thing out is this Paul McCartney photo with the signature. It's not a real signature, so there you go. And then there's My Love, okay, and on the other side is Another Day. Then you're looking at Jet. On the back is Band on the Run. Okay, we've got Joseph here, Joseph Montaneo. Hello, my friend. We missed you last week at the fest. Hope you're doing well. All right, next up, we got Say. Okay, backed with Ebony and Ivory. And you have Live and Let Die, right? Backed with Listen to What the Man Said. And this was exclusive to Parlophone. Okay. I know I missed all of you. I'm doing well, thank you. Yep, you got it. Let's see here. Tim says, I love the video of you acquiring that piece, Joe Mayo, one of the best pieces in my collection. It will be there for a long time to come. 30 seconds later. So, yes, it was, yes, it was great, wasn't it? There's Good Night Tonight, backed with Let 'Em In. Okay. And you have coming up, back with a little luck. And then since this is Parlophone, I'm sure this is probably the studio version and not the live version. And then we've got Sea Moon, and backed with Silly Love Songs. And then we're looking at No More Lonely Nights, backed with Pipes of Peace. Tony is asking why no Tug of War as a single Tug of War. Well, probably because it wasn't a hit. Between the U.S. or U.K., it wasn't a hit. Then we got We All Stand Together, backed by Mull of Kintyre. If that's indeed what you're asking, Tony. So fantastic set. Again, I'm really appreciative of Joe Mayo for selling this to me. And I will cherish it for years to come. Now, I will cherish it. I will not be selling this to anybody. I will not be selling this to anybody. I will not be bringing it to another fest in the future to show. It is staying close to my person for all time. So that's a look at the all the best promotional 45 set. This was UK only set. Okay, so goes back right here, and voila, there you go. Wonderful, wonderful piece. Excuse me. So what else is there? Come on, people, bring some comments, some questions. Let's get going here. Let's get going. One second. Okay, Tim says, Tom, being a 45 guy like me, do you have all the Columbia reissue 45s they released in the early 80s? Okay, so Tim, I'm glad you brought that up because those were the Hall of Fame 45s. I don't know what you're speaking of. Yes, I've been looking at those, but I'm going to get I'm going to get those probably after I, have more focus on these picture sleeve 45s from the 70s. But they are on my radar. So yes, the Columbia 45s that were released in the early 80s under the Hall of Fame marker. Yeah, I'll be getting those. Crawford's favorite single. Yes, No More Lonely Nights for sure. Any rumblings on when Paul? Well, that's just a big question now, isn't it? When will the new album get dropped? And who's to say? And even if I knew, I wouldn't say. I mean, that's just the thing. I mean, look, if you're somebody that's in the know and you want to stay in the know, right? You have to be trustworthy. And you have to keep your mouth quiet. And so I don't know, but I'm hoping for a fall release. That would be cool. I'm hoping it gets announced tomorrow. I mean, let's go really already. So let's hope it's dropped soon, because I'm ready. I mean, It's been over 4 years now. It's going on 4.5 years since McCartney 3, right? So let's go. Well, It's not that what he charged. It's what I offered, and he accepted what I offered. And usually, I don't necessarily like to say how much I get things for, especially stuff like that. Tony, if I see you in Chicago, maybe I'll tell you in person, but I'm just not gonna blurt it out here for everybody to hear. James, how are you? Yes, I'm doing better. Doing better than I was last week, that's for sure. Ted says, any plans for Record Store Day? Well, unfortunately, I probably won't be in line like I was, all those years while I lived in Arizona. I decided that I want to see um, Bob Dylan, so I'm probably going to get tickets for that show. I mean, the Bob Dylan show's next week, so I'm probably going to go see Bob Dylan next week rather than spend the money on Record Store Day stuff. I can go on eBay and get that stuff on eBay if I want, but I do want it. I definitely do want to get the John Lennon, and I definitely do want to get the All Things Must Pass Zoetrope. So I will get those. Yes, we'll try to get yes. Good luck for you, sir. A bunch of YouTubers and friends have been getting them and been showing them on YouTube. So and that's great. It's a beautiful yellow on there, so looks good. Sounds like the rest of the year is going to be jam packed with Beatles releases and John releases and maybe an archive set. Well, we'll see. I mean, let's look. 2018, he released Egypt Station, and then 2 months later, he released Wings Wildlife and Red Rose Speedway. Right? So it's possible. It's possible. I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not going to hold my breath. Henry, how you doing? Tony says, of course, getting the Zoetrope off this was passed. It'll be my first time having it on vinyl. Well, cool. You also need to get the regular regular release as well, too. You could probably go on georgeharrison.com and pick them up. Hold on here. Hold on 1 second. I just got. All right. Sorry about that. Just had to check my phone. Okay. So James says Andrew Watt has produced Elton's new album with Brandon. Yes, and it's really good. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed. I will. I mean, people I know have been enjoying it, so I guess I'll check it out as well as being as an Elton John fan. I'll check it out. You don't have to apologize, Tony. No apology necessary. The 2020 John Lennon gave me some Truth Box was absolutely fantastic in my opinion. It was a nice set. It was a nice compilation, right? Kind of like pure McCartney. But again, taking off horns, you know, is not my favorite thing in the world for the Lennon camp to do. Good to know you're getting. Thank you. Yes, thank you. And yellow vinyl is beautiful. I agree. I'm just a fan of yellow. I like the brightness of yellow. I guess it's one of my favorite colors. So yeah, so whether or not the archive release is done or just on hiatus, I don't know. I obviously I would like it to continue, but I just think he's going to stick with these half-speed master releases and these one-offs like one hand clapping. But I could be wrong. We'll see. Let's see here. Hey, Tom, do you think it would be cool if the four Beatle biopics were different genres? For example, the Ringo one more comedic, John one more serious, Paul more. I don't know. I don't think so. No. No, I think they're going to be more the same story but told by four different by the four by the four Beatles and their memories of those events. I mean, if you just look at if you rewatch the Beatles anthology, you'll see that they have different memories of these events, and I find that to be very interesting. I don't think a lot of people do, but I just find it interesting that they remember things differently. I think Paul started working with Andrew Watt before Elton, so he'll be the last out. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating, isn't it? But then again, I don't think Paul records a whole album at once. Okay, I think he just goes in spurts, right? He'll record for 3 weeks, do a mini tour, go back and record for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Okay. So so there's that, yeah. But you gotta imagine Andrew Watt is busy too, producing other people. Yes, yeah, and that could be a future episode with our friend Jude, because both Paul and John have different takes on the Elvis meeting, um, and that could be a future episode to get Jude back on. It was great having Jude. Jude's fantastic. Um, we had her on a few years back talking about John and Paul's 21st birthdays, right? And all the shenanigans that happened on Paul's 21st birthday, and what came to be from John's 21st birthday, So, very cool stuff. Hold on one second. Henry says, well, Paul once said John mistook a nativity scene for a bunch of people playing cards when he didn't have glasses. Yeah. John was blind as a bat without those glasses. So, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be, there's a lot to speculate about the four Beatles biopics, whether or not it's worth it or not. Is it going to be financially feasible? The thing is the Sam Mendes will save money by filming them, back to back, all in a row. Okay, which will be the smart way to do it. And then you can edit it whenever you want to. So it's I don't think that they're going to cost a lot of money. I don't think they'll be costly. I don't think they're going to break any studio's bank. If each of these movies are done for $50 million each, and it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting. I mean, I can see this being really celebrated, or which I hope. I'm hopeful, on how these movies are going to be received. Let's just say that. So is Paul the only Beatle to meet two Elvises? Probably. After the 3-2-1 program, I was hoping that Paul would work with. Yeah, I think we all were. I think the consensus is that seeing Rick Rubin do that show with him, that okay, so that's who Paul's going to be recording his new album with, right? So so there's that. Yeah. Let's see here. The actor who's playing Lennon was that new? Yeah, Baby Girl. I did see that movie, and it's a very good. I really enjoyed Baby Girl, with Nicole Kidman and the actor that's playing John Lennon. If you didn't see that movie, I definitely recommend checking out Baby Girl. Definitely recommend checking it out. He's a good actor. I'm with Tim. I hope Paul would have worked with. Yeah, I think a lot of us were hoping that. Especially the way he's been able to revitalize, you know, uh, certain musicians' careers. I guess, sort of say. Such as, I mean, he revitalized Johnny Cash's career, Neil Diamond's career. So. Oh, Matthew Smith, how you doing, my friend? Yeah, I was just talking about Record Store Day. I'm going to be skipping it this year, but whatever I want to pick up, I'm sure I'll pick it up on eBay. I'll see if any stores have them after the fact, and maybe I'll just order them and have them delivered to me. I'm not really happy with the choices of records that participate in Record Store Day. It's not like Arizona, where I can, get in line at midnight and camp out overnight. A little colder here in Michigan than it is in Arizona. See, Rick Rubin made some real masterclass stuff with Johnny Cash. Those American recordings are fire. Yes, I concur. Ray, how you doing? Howdy. It will be a theater event marketing wise. Spend a day at the movie theater. One Paul's movie, yeah, John, and so forth. I'll be out by 8. Yeah, I would imagine these films would probably be, in the hour 40, hour 50 range, but who knows? I'll take whatever we can get, and it's just going to be interesting to see the direction of these 4 films. And I hope everybody goes. I hope the real, the hardcore fans, they go see all 4, and not just pick and choose. I hope Ringo. I hope Ringo's does better than. but that being said, like I said, I hope they all 4 do good business. And I know we'll all be there to nitpick. What was accurate, what wasn't accurate. And again, these films have the backing of Apple, so they'll be able to use actual Beatles music in these films, so that's a good thing. I think Ringo with Rick Rubin would be more interesting choice, possibly. George Harrison with Rick Rubin, I think, would be kind of a cool thing as well. Yeah, Rick Rubin produced Wildflowers. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great album as well. I love all 3 solo. Yeah, all the solo Petty albums are fantastic. Let's see here. Hello, Richard. Baby Girl will be on HBO Max April 25th. I recommend it. Check it out. Antonio Banderas is in there as well. It's a good little film. I kind of thought Nicole Kidman might get a Best Actress nomination for that role, but she did not. But she's still good, and the actor in there that's playing John is really good in there too. I want to thank Ed Crawford for this tumbler that it gave me at the fest. Thank you, Ed. It works. There's no leaks or anything like that. So, all right. What else? Come on, people. Bring some stuff. Bring it to me. What do you got? What's next? Laura, how are you doing? Hi, Tom. I never get to see your live shows. Harris Dickinson is in a movie called The Triangle of Sadness. Now streaming. I have that. Criterion Collection released that, and that's a fun little movie too. That's a fun little movie. I forgot he was in that. Excuse me, this wire's getting caught here. I forgot he was in that, and that's a good one. I like that movie. Have you seen it, Laura? Oh, you did. Oh, kind of. Yeah, it is a crazy flick. Absolutely, I liked it. I like crazy flicks though. Any word on McCartney touring the states? Yeah, there's a lot of words out there, but no one's saying anything about it yet. No one's saying anything. Everything is tight-lipped right now, and we'll see. We'll see. Beetle Eddie, what's going on, my friend? Thanks for popping in. You got any questions or comments? Please drop them in. If you guys haven't yet, please check out our latest episode that we did at the Fest for Beatle fans with Adrian Sinclair and Alan Cozen. We talked about Venus and Mars. We did a 50th anniversary appreciation for that show. So if you haven't checked it out, please do. Please do. Oh, hopefully Paul will tour the new album. Hopefully it won't be like McCartney 3, right, where he plays Women and Wives for a couple shows and then completely forgets it in the actual set, but then just like he downgrades it to the you know what I'm talking about, the pre-show, and and that's it. So hopefully he'll do some actual song. I was really hoping he was gonna do Find My Way live when he came back in 22, and yeah, unfortunately it wasn't to be. Laura liked it. Excellent. Let's see. So how do you feel about Lady Gaga playing Cynthia Lennon and Mikey Simpson playing Yoko Ono in the 40s? Lady Gaga, I'm fine with. Maybe I think she might be too old to play Cynthia. So again, it's again, it just depends on the time frame. Although Cynthia did kind of always look old, did she not? Or older, I should say. But I think I think Lady Gaga might be too old for Cynthia Lennon. I have no problem with Mikey Madison playing Yoko Ono. Again, it's acting, right? That's what people in that field get hired to do, is act. Although, there is something to be said for authenticity, right? Typecasting correctly. If you have an Asian role, let's get an Asian to play it, right? You don't want to get Burt Lancaster to play an Indian like they did in Apache back in the 50s, right? So yeah, let's. But it will be. She's a fantastic. She's an Academy Award-winning actress now. Mikey Madison. So she's great. She was a great in Nora. And she deserved that Oscar. Rick says that was a cool video on the show from the fest with Sinclair. Thank you. Well done. Appreciate that. Oh, this is just the $5 million question. When is the new album coming out? What is it going to be called? Who's going to be on it? Is it going to be a band related? Is it just going to be Paul on it? We're all patiently waiting for this new album. Patiently. No, Henry, I disagree with that. Christian Bale as George Martin, Robert De Niro as Ed Sullivan. No. No. Do you think Ringo will ever play a song recorded after 1973 live again? No, I don't. No. Which is unfortunate. It's unfortunate, Tim, but I don't think. Well, he did play Anthem last time I saw him live. So I mean, I guess but I know what you're saying. I definitely hear what you're saying. Because he's got a lot of great songs, post the Ringo album. that he could be doing live, and I think people have a great time seeing him do those songs live. The No No song was fantastic live when I got to see him. Um, but yeah, he just chooses to do those 3 or 4 hits prior to '74, and then the 3 or 4 Beatles songs that he does. So, James says the Vietnam Venus and Mars panel was great. Too short, of course. Adrian defending Spirits of Ancient Egypt was funny. Alan is wrong about listening to what the man said. Yes, I agree. I agree. I am listening to what the man says. Defender. Excuse me here. It's a great hit. It was a great hit for Paul. #1 for a week. And I think it's just an awesome song. Melody wise, it's fantastic. I mean, yeah, again, silly lyrics, but those silly lyrics are overshadowed by the great melody. Hello, Peter. Fine work you did, young man. Fine work with the suitcase. So good job. Good on you. Maybe Lady Gaga should play Yoko. Yeah. Okay, best Burt Lancaster film, The Professionals. Professional now. So this is great. Burt Lancaster is my second favorite actor, behind Robert De Niro, and I've seen just about everything Lancaster has done. The Professionals is great, yes, but film wise, it is great, but Birdman of Alcatraz is fantastic. Elmer Gantry is fantastic. From Here to Eternity, is a classic. So there's tons of great Burt Lancaster films. I love The Swimmer. There's other westerns that he's done. Lawman, Veracruz. A lot of great westerns that Burt did. As well. So yeah. Hello, Nick. Good to see you. Thank you. Loved your idea about that collecting show. The questions were fantastic. Thank you again for that, Nick. I hope you're doing well. He says just joking, but De Niro basically played Ed Sullivan and Joker. Well, no, I still kind of disagree on that. Ed Sullivan was a unique individual, a very unique host, unlike any other host of any kind of variety show. And I don't think De Niro was anywhere near what Ed Sullivan was. It's too really interesting. And there you go. And there's your response. I would like to see him do a dose of rock and roll. Rack My Brain. Rack My Brain would be fantastic. Would love to see Ringo do Rack My Brain. Yes. Let's see here. Lady Gaga actually isn't that bad of an actress. Did you see House of Gucci? I did not. I do want to see it, but I didn't get to see that yet. I will check that out. I think that just came out right after COVID, right? If I remember correctly. Or was that before? I don't remember. Spirits of Ancient Egypt does have silly lyrics, but it's still great. Song due to Denny's stunning vocals. Yeah, I like it. I don't love it, but I enjoy it. James says, my only criticism of Listen to What the Man Says is it could do with an extra verse. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Ringo Starr will play two new songs this year, right? Wrong. Well, you know what? Who knows? Listen, he had a lot of success with Look Up, right? And then hopefully maybe he does at least one song from the new album. Let's see here. Ringo will only perform hits in concert. Yes, that's unfortunately. James says Lancaster certainly had a varied career. Crimson Prior was a favorite. Yeah, that's kind of campy in a way. It's a fun film, but I don't hold it in high regards. in the Burt Lancaster filmography. But it's fun. That's absolutely fun. Why did you, or what did you think of Burt Lancaster playing Moses, which he did? Yeah, he did play Moses. But um, I mean, once Heston made it his own, I don't think anybody else could have done that role justice, no matter how great of an actor you are. It was so so, and I think wasn't that just a made for TV film, if I remember correctly, or did it get a theatrical theatrical release as well? I saw that as a kid once growing up, and haven't really thought much about it. It's not my favorite film or performance of Burt Lancaster's by a long shot. Might be weird opinion, but I love "Don't Pass Me By." Probably my favorite Ringo Beatles song. It's the only one he wrote. Um, yeah, yeah. That and I still love Octopus's Garden, but I've always been a big fan of "Don't Pass Me By." I always been a big fan of that song. I love the arrangement too of that song. Nick says, Tom, have you finally been able to lose your lack of faith over remaining archives? No, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful. But listen, all you gotta do is just go by the facts, right? 5 years since the last one. I still don't understand why nobody is picking up on it. It's been 5 years since the last release, and the longest in the past was 2 years. Okay, I think it's done, but I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong. Henry says, Tom, I'm not going to lie. You really turned me into a Paul Newman fan. I've seen many of his films in the past. Yeah, Paul Newman's fantastic. Paul Newman's a fantastic actor. Um, Early on in his film, or his early, his 50s films, you can really tell. And then he really comes into his own in the 60s. Young Philadelphians, Somebody Up There Likes Me, those early 50 films. I really, Sweet Bird of Youth, right? And then, coming into the 60s with The Hustler and HUD. Um, yeah, you know, Paul Newman's fantastic. Paul Newman is fantastic. Just to be accurate, Ringo has 4 writing credits in the Beatles. There you go. Flying? A co-write for Flying, right? Don't Pass Me By, and Octopus's Garden, right? And there's one other one. Okay, so here we go. Joe, I was waiting for you to say this because throughout history there have been long stretches between releases of things. Right, okay, but 2 years, okay, not five. Not five, okay, 5. 2 and 5. Okay, 5 just seems like it's over long. Okay, if you're going to continue the series, why have we needed to wait 5 years since the last release? Again, I want to be wrong, guys. I do. But again, it's 5 years since the last one. Whereas in the past, it was only 2 years. Hello, Joe Mayo. Hello, yes. I'm glad you're here. If you want to join, Joe, let me know. I'll send you a link. Yeah, but the SHM edition schedule suggests you might be wrong. Again, guys, I want to be wrong, but I'm just going by what we have, the evidence in front of us, okay? The evidence in front of us suggests that it's over. Maybe he just doesn't like those albums. It could be just that easy. Maybe he just doesn't like those albums. Again, I want to be wrong, okay? I'm coming in late. Did you guys already talk about how weird it looks with the actor playing John being so much taller than the others? Yeah, we talked about that, and he is a little taller, isn't he? Yeah, but I'm sure that'll be fine. I'm sure they'll use some kind of studio trickery to make him to level it out a little bit. We'll see. Um, See, Ringo has a writing credit for what goes on as well. There you go. Joe says, no, Tom, I'm just talking about the archives. I'm talking about delays in releasing anything, albums, movie sequels. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Um, you know, did we had a little delay too with COVID kind of delayed, the stuff, the All Things Must Pass, and then wasn't it like the Plastic Ono ban as well? But I think we're past that now. But again, I want to be wrong with this. Let's see here. Hope he does London Town and Egg at least. Yes, yes, we all want it. We all want it. So a friend, the one that I met at the fest, his name's Simon. He's from the UK, and he had an opportunity to, he has found himself in or around McCartney a lot over the last 40 years. He's an MPL scruff, let's say I'll call him. And he got to say, hey, where's Back to the Egg? And apparently he stormed off after he was asked that question. He stormed off, as in Paul stormed off. So we'll see. We'll see. Paul's camp must know that fans want the last two. You would think. So just come out and say yes or no. Thank you. Why can't you just come out and say we're done with the archive, or we're just taking a break from the archive, right? There's no reason why he just can't do that. Somebody just put a press release out saying, look, we thought it'd be better just to do Half-Speed Masters, or look, we're just taking a break from releasing archive editions for now. That would be fantastic. I would love that. I mean, right? We want that kind of honesty, right? Did you see The Substance? Thoughts? The Substance was one of my favorite films of last year, Tony. I love The Substance. Demi Moore is fantastic. I'm forgetting the other actress in it, but I loved the film. The Substance was in my top 5 films of last year. I thought Demi Moore was very worthy of winning Best Actress for that film, but I have no problems with Mikey Madison winning Best Actress for that film. So I did see it, and hopefully you did, and I hope you liked it. Mayo says, on the contrary, I think the evidence now is more in favor of more archives, is the missing Japan CDs and the tour book hints. Yes, there's that as well. However, the years apart, I think, is a little stronger of a case than Little Hints. I mean, he could just not like those albums. And again, I hope that's wrong. So yeah, I'm hopeful. Okay? I'm hopeful. But I'm not going to hold my breath. I'm not going to hold my breath either. Is all 4 Beatle movies going to be released the same day? Yeah, I think they're all coming out. Coming out on the same day. And no, he's filming them all at the same time. So it won't be as costly as if, say, like you do one, put it out, do the next one, put it out. No, he's doing it all at the same time, just like Peter Jackson did the Lord of the Rings films, and it's not as costly doing it that way, okay, than if you were to do them, separately. Good. Doesn't happen too often. Yeah. Yes, Joe, there are no rules. But again, I mean, how long does it not have to come out before people are finally in agreement that they're dead, right? Right? Is it got to be 10 years? And since the last release, does it have to be 8 years? Does it have to be 20 years before people finally say, hey, look, the archive series is dead? You know, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I mean, if we don't get an archive series, but in the for the 50th anniversary of London Town and Back Today, we get all we get is a half suit master. Then will you finally, guys, will finally agree that the archive series is dead? um, let's see here. By the way, what's your favorite track on? You know, I'm really loving. Um, uh, let's see here. Winter Rose, Love Awake. That's one of my favorites. I love that track. You know, Getting Closer is fantastic. Um, but favorite. Yeah, I gotta go Arrow Through Me. I gotta go Arrow Through Me. That's my favorite song on Back to the Egg. Yeah. Then we say, yeah, there's no rule. Right, right. We went over that. Hold on. Does he hate those albums, or are the archives a fiscal loss? That's a good point as well. That's a good point as well. Look, I remember a lot of people bitching about the cost of of Paul's box sets towards the end. You know, starting with Flowers in the Dirt in 18, and then going into Wildlife, Red Rose Speedway, right? A lot of them just kept the prices just kept creeping up and creeping up. I know a lot of people were bitching about that. I mean, so the MPL camp must have seen that too. A lot of people bitching about the cost of these box sets. People complaining they don't need a book of with pictures in them. You know, like the Wings Over America box set, right? That was 4 books of basically just all pictures. So, let's see here. Wildlife did not do well commercially, but got about right, exactly. So did Pipes of Peace. People forget Pipes of Peace was not a hit here in the States. The album, that is, okay. Obviously, Say was a #1 hit, but the album itself was not a hit. Okay, Flowers in the Dirt. You know, people forget that wasn't a big hit here in the States as an album or singles. Okay, it was #1 in the UK, but it was not a big hit here in the States. Old Siam Sir, yes sir, like that one as well. Like that one as well. I can understand the archive stopping after the last Wings albums. I don't get stopping now. Again, you know, yeah. I get you. I get what everybody's saying. I do. I'm still waiting for the '93 McCartney collection series to be officially released in the States. Yeah, you keep waiting there, David. Keep waiting, my friend. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for popping in, buddy. If you don't know, Duke Viking is my cousin David Gargalino, who I started Two Legs with. So there you go. Your cover's blown there. Your cover's blown, my friend. We need box sets from Paul. Yes, yes, I agree. I want box sets. I want box sets. If London Town Remastered comes out with no archive, I will declare the archive editions dead. Okay, so I like that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. 1 second, Mayo. I'll shoot you a link. Okay, everybody. I'm gonna shoot Joe Mayo a link real quick so he can pop up, and we can probably converse more about this archive stuff here. All right, Joe. I sent it in your email. Okay, buddy. Uh, Tony, not just Wings albums. Yeah, I mean, I want to see all box sets. I want to see Chaos and Creation a box set. I want to see Memorials Full as a box set. You know, I want to see all of them. Run Double Run. I want to see all of them as a box set. Ted says, one piece I read is that the 4 movies will be released 1 week after each other. Each will cover different parts, and you will need to see all 4 to get the full story. They want them to binge together. I like that. I like that. All set, buddy. It's there. Let's see here. Beatles, I'm seeing Paul Simon on June 18th. That's awesome. I'm happy to hear that. It would be nice if he decides to show up. It would be nice if Paul McCartney shows up, and I hear they are friends. Yes. Pipes did go platinum in the U.S., I believe, so not a complete flop. It just in chart position. Right. Exactly. It did go platinum, but for McCartney's standards and in a chart wise, it didn't go over well. Almost, a lot of albums were going platinum back then. I mean, because, you know, that's how you got your music back then. Whereas, and now, when Joe did his video, Joe Mayo did his video about Venus and Mars, recharting in the charts with only selling 2,400 copies. That's a big difference. Jackson says, "How you doing? Good to see you. It doesn't make sense to me for the archives to stop after they had already had it going since Band on the Run." I agree. It doesn't make sense unless they just feel like it wasn't viable enough, or it just the cost didn't outweigh. The cost was more than what they were willing to keep going for. I mean, he likes these nice box sets. If he was going to keep going them, he was going to probably keep giving these really nice box sets. But that kept increasing in value or increasing in cost. And maybe doing a super big Flaming Pie box wasn't the best idea either, which is still available on the paulmccartney.com, and I'm actually kind of now thinking about picking that up. I'm kind of thinking about picking up that Uber Deluxe Flaming Pie. Just got here. How you liking? Hey, how you doing, Charlie? Glad you're here. We got Joe Mayo coming up here in a few. I know Joe wants that press to play archive set. I know. He wants to take it and he wants to rip it up to shreds, doesn't he? James says, at this rate, the only archive box will be... Ooh, James. Ow. Woo. I'll take the Driving Rain one-leg archive collection. Okay, only pipe song I remember. Okay, I'll try to send it again there, Joe, but I did send it. All right, Joe, I'm going to send it again here. All right, Joe, I sent it again, Joe, so hopefully it pops up. Let's see here. Speaking of press to play, I found a sealed OG vinyl copy of it recently. Did you pick it up? Yeah, I picked this up, played to press last year at Blue Village Vinyl. This, obviously the bootleg. Really good bootleg of this, of press to play. So yeah. Let's see. Hopefully that link works for Joe. Yeah, I have a love-hate relationship with press to play. I like half of it, the other half. Okay. Hold on one second. All right, we've got a guest waiting here in the wings, and we're gonna get Nick's comment here, and then we're gonna bring in the guest here. Everyone is wrong about Pipes of Peace. It is mostly great. Takes you right back to the mid '80s. Um, I know you hate it. I don't hate it. It's just not a favorite anymore. I just there's just some tracks on there that just are just so you like to think that some songs stick with you. I mean, look, I got into Pipes of Peace early in my Beatle loving days, and it has some nostalgia with me. Like songs with So Bad and Say. Um, but the album as a whole, I just don't think it's it holds up as well as, let's say, like Tug of War. Okay, and then I'm going to bring up our friend, Mr. Joe Mayo. Joe,
Howdy, Tom. I'm waiting in the wings. I'm waiting in the wings
yes,
for Wings Archives.
for Wings Archives. Yes, yes, you
Yeah.
are. Yes, you are. So, nice video this morning about this recent success of the
Oh,
Venus and Mars album. You
yeah.
had to. It was you had to get a kind of a little bit of a laugh when you found out. What was it? 2,400 or 2,500?
I think 2,500 or something
Yeah,
like that.
2,500, and that little amount of sales was able to get you, to that high on the charts, which
Yeah.
just goes to show you that streaming right now is king, right? So,
Yeah.
and then it was like what 40 something in actual record sales or something like that. Do you remember?
I don't recall that. But, like I
Yeah,
was saying in my video, I always stand by the idea that even though it's just a paltry amount, it's
right.
still the same playing field for other artists. So it still means something that he's got that much. Maybe some other artists got under 2,500 physical
Right,
sales.
right. Which, like, 2,500 back in the day. I mean, an artist might have sold that many copies in one day. 2,500.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
crazy when you think
yeah,
about it. At first, it said that there were only like 100 not even 100 copies at first.
right. Yeah. So that's interesting. Sent Tom his worst of the worst between the two least favorites off the press, off the ground and press to play. Yeah. So
Yeah, and what Nick was saying before, no, I do want to press the play archive very much. I think it
yeah,
might help me appreciate the album more.
that the stripped down stuff when it's just Paul, Jerry Murata, and what's why am I dropping his name from 10cc? Come on, Joe,
I'm
help me
sorry, I
out
was
here.
reading. I was reading Beatles
Oh,
question. Say again.
yeah. No, the guy from 10cc that's on press that's on Tug of War, Pipes of Peace, and give my
Oh,
regards to Broad Street.
I don't
Why
know.
we're slipping here.
Yeah.
Help us out in the chat here, buddy guys. Why can't we remember his name? But anyways, you just get that stripped down, which you can hear on YouTube. I think it's fantastic. I think
Mm.
it's fantastic. So let's see here. Charlie says, I think Flaming Pie is a great album. He was collaborating with the greats. Yeah, he was collaborating with the greats, but that doesn't necessarily mean that those collaborations are great. You know,
Well, Steve Miller, right? That was one of the lesser songs
right?
on there.
Well, and then not everything he did with Jeff Lynne was great either. So again, the song that he did with Jeff Lynne and Ringo, not that great. Not that great. Really love you. Here's a hard question. What is your favorite Paul solo song? This is for both of you. I don't
Maybe
have
I'm
the
amazed.
answer.
Very easy.
Yeah, for Paul. Yeah. Solo
It's
songs.
hard.
So yeah. So that means Wings. Yeah, Eric Stewart. Thank you guys. Eric Stewart.
Eric
Yeah.
Stewart. Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
So if you just listen to that stripped down stuff with Eric Stewart, Paul, and Jerry Murata on drums, I love Press to Play. It's a completely different record. It's a completely different record. So I guess if you're not including Wings, um, yeah, that is a tough question for me because like Junior's Farm is my favorite Paul song. After that, maybe Wanderlust, maybe.
It's tough. I mean,
Yeah,
I've got Junior's Farm up there too. I also
right.
have. Oh, geez, what did you just say before? I'm just I was tired. I was sweating.
Wanderlust, one of
Wanderlust,
favorite.
but you
Yeah.
said one, the other one. Jesus. Oh man.
No
Oh no,
more
you didn't
lonely.
say. I'm sorry, you didn't say.
Oh,
I'm saying because I
yeah.
know this is not one
Right.
of your favorites, but
Right.
it is mine. Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Take It Away is a personal favorite as well. So yeah.
Some days I like. I mean, there's a lot. There are
Some
a lot of them.
days. Riding into Vanity Fair is my one of my favorites too. I love only half of Preston. Same here. I like half of it. The other half is eh. The Tom and Joey Show. Yeah. Yeah. Eric
Today.
Stewart. Yeah. Yeah. We got making an appearance of Broad Street. Broad Street. There you go. Thank you for using
Oh,
your
that's
Tumblr.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very nice. Yep.
Cheers, my friend. Hope you're feeling better. Uh, uh, yeah. No More Lonely Nights is up there for me as well for Paul's one of Paul's best. But to say my absolute favorite Paul song to this, I mean, I guess I would have to say Junior's Farm. You know, see all these hellos and I agrees and hellos and I
Hello, hello,
agrees.
hello, everybody. Hello, Henry. I know Tony D
Yeah,
said hello earlier. Hi.
yeah.
Hello, Amy.
Everybody's saying hello to
Hello,
Joe.
Broad Street.
Yep. I could never like However Absurd. I have never liked However Absurd myself.
Well,
Um,
I'll tell you a song along those lines that I didn't care for too much. Even though I'm a fan and I have all the stuff, some of the what you might call B sides or bonus tracks and this and that, I don't know
yeah.
all of them as well as I should. And one of them that I heard was one I wasn't very familiar with, Right Away, which I didn't
Right
like.
Away. Yeah. Right Away for me is in the same regards as same vein as I'll Give You a Ring. It's just a play on words. Um,
Yeah.
let's see. Let's get back up to where we once belonged. Um, Jackson says, I've had enough is definitely Beatles worthy. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of I've had
Yeah.
enough, to be honest with you.
I know it's not well regarded by many, but I really like that song. I think it's underrated. But it's
Okay.
not very profound or anything, but it's a good rocker.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Broadstreet says he is feeling better. That's great. Yeah, Take It Away is a great one. I think so. I think so. Let's see. Nick says I like Pipes of Peace way more than Broad Street, although No More Lonely Nights is wonderful. Yeah, I mean, what's your take on Pipes of Peace, Joe?
But something has to be among Paul's, in my opinion, lesser albums,
Yeah,
studio albums, and that's near the bottom for me. Pipes of Peace. I mean, I probably put it ahead of, definitely put it ahead of Press to Play and Driving Rain. But it's like I said from day one. It sounds to me like leftovers from Tug of War. You
and
know,
and most of it, half of it
yeah.
is.
But I mean,
Hey Hey is left over from Tug of War. You know,
but I do enjoy. I mean, I enjoy a lot of songs on it.
right? Yeah, Say was recorded before Tug of War came out. The Man, I think, was also
No.
recorded before Tug of War came out.
Say, thumbs up. The Man, thumbs down for me.
There you go. Henry says it's not my favorite Paul song, but "Silly Love Songs" really gives you a warm, happy vibe. I
Yeah,
just think it's one of his greatest songs. That too is probably in my top 10 of
yeah,
Paul
mine
songs.
too. And as I always say, and I'll never resist a chance to say it again, especially if you were 14 and you remember the summer and going to the beach,
Right.
and that was on the AM radios.
There you go. There you go. Amy says hello.
Hi, hi,
Hey
hi, hi,
Joe,
hi.
what do you know?
Real Jackson.
Yeah.
So,
English Tea is one I never get tired of, along with Silly Love Songs and the live. Maybe I'm amazed. Yeah, Wink, how you doing, Wink?
I like
Um,
English tea as well.
yeah, I love miles and miles of English gardens. I like that
Yeah,
forever.
that's a
Yeah,
great part of it.
yeah. Um, let's see, Too Much Rain, absolutely,
Good one.
another beautiful song. Um, funny enough, Right Away, one of my favorites. Yeah.
There you go.
Many films use songs from bands that I've never heard a Beatles song used in a film, other than Yesterday, obviously. Um, many films use songs from bands, but I've never heard a Beatles song used in a film. There's plenty of Beatles songs. They used "When I'm 64" at the opening credits for "World According to Garp."
I remember that like it was only yesterday. Seeing that on a
Hey,
big
there you
screen
go. See
in the
what you did
theater.
there, Joe. Yeah. Well, I mean, now, especially nowadays, I mean, it costs a lot to use to license a Beatles song for a film.
Yeah.
Another day for sure for Tony D. Yep, Tony. I did get to see Paul do that live in '93. So that was one of the highlights of that tour. Bad Boy gets some love, but I've had enough. Is better of those two lesser rockers. So you're comparing the song "Bad Boy," the Beatles' "Bad Boy," or Ringo's "Bad Boy,"
Do you mean not such a
to
bad boy?
or yeah, or I mean, not such a bad boy. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I like not such a bad boy a little better than I've had
right,
enough. It's hard to say. I like both of
right.
them.
Let's see here. What if Tug of War and Pipes of Peace had come out as a double album? Um,
Mm.
I think it would probably be tarnished a little bit because of some of the weaker tracks. And then do you put Rain Clouds on there? Do you put I'll Give You a Ring out there on there because those are B sides, recorded, around the same time. So you got to find ways to fill out the album, unless you're talking about Tug of War as is and Pipes of Peace as is, and then combining the two. If you mean that, then fine, but you probably could have made a double album. Before when Tug of War came out, there was enough material. If you're also including Rain Clouds and I'll Give You a Ring as well. So um, we got married. Yeah, you got the great David Gilmour on that track.
I like that song now. I didn't like it when it first came out.
Mm. Okay, we've got Once Upon a Long Ago. Could be one of my favorites. It's up
Yeah,
there. Great track.
yeah, I like it too.
Um, looking back on it now, it's just funny how record heads, studio heads decide whether it's okay. This will be better in the UK, but it's not going to do well here in the
Right,
states,
right.
so we're not going to put it out in the states. Well, do you really know? Do you
Well, that
really
one
know?
I don't know about. Here's what I say this a lot. To me, although Flowers in the Dirt was a step in the right direction, there's too many
Right.
dirgy songs on there. I think it's too bad they couldn't have somehow put Once Upon a Long Ago and Back on My Feet
Yeah.
on Flowers in the Dirt because they'd never
Mm.
been on an album,
Right.
right? A
Right.
proper
Yeah.
studio
It,
album.
it was. There
Yeah.
was a non-album single only.
And maybe get rid of Motor of Love and get
Right.
rid of something else, Distractions. I know a lot of people love Distractions, but
Yeah.
take those
Yeah.
off, put on Once Upon a Long Ago and Back on My Feet. I think that would really boost that album up.
I think you get rid of a 6 minute song and and Motor of Love, and then you put those two tracks on there, and I think you have a better album. Absolutely, I agree, Joe. Every Night is a fantastic song.
Yeah.
Love and Song is a top tier. I think Love and Song is good, but I don't know if it's
Yeah.
if it's a top tier ballad.
I like it, but I wouldn't put it top tier.
Yeah. Let's see here. A lot of Elton songs give that summer vibe too. I'm Still Standing. Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Yeah.
Don't Go Breaking My Heart was the same year as Silly Love
Silly
Song,
Love
so the
Song.
same radio thing I
76.
was mentioned applies
Yeah.
to that song for me.
Yeah. The Pound is Sinking is a great Paul song. I think The Pound is Sinking is good.
Yep. I like it.
Yeah. Hi, hi, hi.
I
For
like Hi
sure.
Hi Hi. Also, we got to go
Let
through
me
Paul's
ask
whole
you.
catalog. Let's go through the whole
Yeah.
catalog.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I was going to add, one thing I was thinking about talking about, now that we've got a bunch of people here, was greatest hits. Now, should they be greatest hits or best ofs? How do you prefer a greatest hits to be labeled? Especially someone, okay, like all in 87, like, okay, so 77, right? We got all the best. No, I'm sorry. We got Wings Greatest, right? Wings Greatest. And then in 87, we got all the best, right? So, how do you prefer your greatest hits, compilations to be worded?
Well, That depends on what they are. If they are all indeed hits, I have no problem with greatest hits. If they're not hits, then
Right.
then the best of is just as good, you know. And Wings greatest, of course, it's not all Wings on there on
Right.
that
And it's flawed.
technically.
Right.
And also, of course, the big omission is listen to what the man said. And I'm sorry,
Right.
Alan Kozin. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what you're
Right.
smoking when you were talking about that one. 5 out
Yeah.
of 5 for me.
Right. Yeah. 5 out of 5. That's just the thing. Okay, if you're gonna say greatest, then it's the greatest singles, the best charted songs that you've released. Um, so then, yeah. So omitting, listen to what the man said was a mistake.
Although it's really semantics, I guess. You know, oh, this
Right.
wasn't a hit, really. You know, just a title.
Yeah.
Wings greatest sound is a great title. You know.
Right. And then when you get to all the best in '87, then I think Take It Away, which was a top 10 hit. I think that was kind of like wrong, not including that one as well. Once Upon should have been included in the Pure McCartney. Oh, it wasn't.
It's been a while. I haven't played that since the Curse came out. I was meaning
Right.
to do that again lately with my long drives.
Right.
I'm gonna pull that out again.
Yeah, Nick. Yeah, Nick. Yeah. Well, Magical Mystery Tour. That's right. Magical Mystery Tour was in the latest Indiana Jones film, and that plus, I mean, they spent over $200 million on that film. So, I mean, if you're gonna spend that much money on a film, then yeah, go for it and license a Beatles song or two to be in your film. Back on My Feet is underrated.
Yeah.
I think it's very much appreciated in the hardcore Beatles. I mean, sorry, hardcore Paul McCartney fandom. I Want to Hold Your Hand is in Uber commercial. Okay, I did not know that. I did not know that. Too Much Rain has been playing in my head lately. It rained from Wednesday to Monday. The Ohio River crests here in Louisville today, but the flooding has been terrible. I'm
I
sorry to
think
hear
Too
that.
Much Rain is one of the best songs on Chaos and Creation, and it's a McCartney classic, or I think in a way for
The
me.
album
Well, the
or the
album
song?
too, but the song is one of his best songs, I think, of all.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Henry says, I really wish James Mangold was the guy to direct the Beatles films because he nailed Walk the Line and The Complete Unknown. Okay, well, that's good. But I have faith in Sam Mendes as well. Sam Mendes is a fantastic director, and again, I'm just saving my judgments for the film for when I finally see them. Um,
Yeah, I can't
I,
even go there.
Yeah, Joe, I think you were kind of like on the fence about the Dylan biop, right? And then when you saw it, that's when you said that you really enjoyed it. I think you were on the fence at first about it.
Well, I don't know if I was. I don't remember being on the fence, so to speak, but I just know I really, really, really liked it when I
Right.
saw it. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Brandon saw the floor heading towards the ball. Okay. Still love songs is a yes. Yeah, not such a bad boy. He meant okay. Hi, Joe and Tom. I saw Tom got the 3 LP archive collection of Wings Over America. Do you have all of the archive? Yes. Now Brooks, how you doing, Brooks? First of all, but yeah, I don't know how I missed it. But yeah, the Wings Over America archives vinyl was the only one that was missing for whatever reason, and then Richie at the fest he had it, and yeah, I was glad I was able to get it. Finally. So, I Want You to Fly. That was one of the B sides from the Chaos. Was that Fine Line B side, I believe? Or Jenny Wren B side? I'm forgetting which one.
I remember something else with Jenny Wren, I think, but
Flying to My
Jenny Wren is
Home.
another
Yeah,
classic. I
I
think now
agree.
20 years that album's 20 years old. Chaos and Creation in the backyard.
Yes, yes. Flying to My Home should have gone on Flowers too.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
yeah,
another one I like. But B sides are fun though, too. So Paul has a history of having some very good B sides, interesting B sides.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Um, and we kind of did that with our friend of me Sam over in the UK with the Paul or Nothing show. We kind of reconstructed our favorite our albums that had a lot of B-sides or unreleased tracks. And we kind of reconstructed a couple of albums that you guys can go back and listen to if you haven't heard them. I know we did. I know we did Egypt Station. I know we did Red Rose Speedway. I know we did Off the Ground. We just reconstructed those albums because they had a lot of B sides and or extra tracks. So the production of Flying to My Home is weird. I mean, yeah, I mean that is probably the weirdest vocal you'll ever hear from a Paul song. I think Best of gives a little more leeway for fan favorites. Watch, we get a Wings Best of this year in conjunction with the doc. Yeah, I mean that's possible. It's possible. Let's see here. Kudos for Lawrence Schubert for stepping in to replace Pete Best at the Abbey Road on the River next month. All the best to Pete in his retirement. Yeah, I'm thinking it's a 5-hour drive. I'm thinking about actually taking the drive down for a day or two, to experience this Abbey Road on the river, and obviously see Lawrence Schubert, who we've had him on the show a couple times. He was fantastic, and if you've seen him at the fest, you know how good Lawrence Schubert is on guitar.
Yeah, the first time I saw him at the fest was way back in 1982.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been there a lot, and he's a great musician. He's great guitar player, and those CDs that he puts out on his own, finger picking the Beatles songs, are great.
Yeah, right.
But with respect to Lawrence, he's not a Beatle. He wasn't a Beatle. So I mean, Pete Best.
Right.
was a Beatle.
Right. Congratulations on getting the 1-to-1 EP there. That was
thanks.
Really nice. I love that yellow. Looks really good.
Yeah. Are you going to be getting it, or you're not sure yet, or what?
Well, I'll get it, but I'll probably have to get it on eBay because I decided to go the extra money that I'm going to have. I decided I'm going to go see Bob Dylan next week. But yes, I'm going to get it, absolutely.
Okay.
As I get every John Lennon release, I'll be getting that. I don't want to miss any of that. Let's see. Don't forget Same Love, very underrated. Yes, yeah, that's with Nicky Hopkins does this fantastic opening piano bit for Same Love. Any predictions for which month Paul's new album will be released? August, September, maybe.
Do you think it's going to be this year?
Yeah, I do think it's going to be this year because he did mention in January that he wants to finish his new album, and I think it'll be this year, absolutely.
Maybe it'll go with the hoopla over the new anthology craze. Like with Flaming Pie back in
right. Who knows? But I won't be getting. I know they're reissuing that Beatles anthology book. I have it. I bought it the day it came out.
Well, we don't know what it's going to be yet.
Well, I think
you're not. Then again, you're not a big Beatles guy.
Right. Thank you,
no
Joe.
offense.
But again, I get every Beatles release as well. So I won't be probably picking that up unless there is something new.
Yeah, I'm not getting the anthology book. The big book is being reissued.
Right.
I don't really care about that.
Yeah, that's what I just said. I mean, the book itself. I mean, I got that the day it came out.
I meant whatever we don't know what the music's going to be or the movie, if they're going to put the movies, new movies.
Correct.
That we don't know.
Yeah. Sam Mendes' film American Beauty swept the Oscars. Yes, it did. So right out of the gate, he had some success right out of the gate because that was his first directorial debut. Wings of America had no bonus audio. And that could be the reason why I didn't pick it up because it didn't have any audio. But I just don't remember.
I didn't buy the vinyl of that, the archive vinyl.
Let's see here. P.S. Thanks for the fun fest coverage this year. You're welcome. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Band on the Run was briefly in Boyhood. Yeah, now we're talking about solo stuff. We were just talking about Beatles music in film. There's a lot of McCartney's in film that we've covered on previous shows on Two Legs. I Want to Fly was Jenny Run. Yeah, thank you.
And somebody had said it was
Go ahead.
Fine Line, but is that what he would talk? Is that what he was talking
It
about? I'm
could be.
almost.
I'll have to take a look. I can just turn around and take a look here.
I think
Find
Tony.
it.
Oh, you're a little bit. Actually, you're behind a little.
Yeah, yeah. Tom, did you see the horror film The Menu? I did. Watched it for the first time a few years. Pretty good. Yeah, I liked it a lot. Ray Fiennes. You got Nicholas Holt in there. Forgetting the actress's name. Anna Taylor Joy. Fantastic. I liked it. I liked it a lot. And I own it. And I can't wait to watch it again. It was the Fine Line single. Ed. There you go. There you go. I would like a Wings Over America remix for the anniversary next year. I would like a version of the '75 tour on record. Because the set list was different, you had Junior's Farm in there, you had Little Woman Love, Sea Moon medley in there, you had a couple of the different songs in that set list in the '75 version of the Wings Over the World. That's what I would like to see on released this year. Let's see here. Lots of times McCartney or anybody, sometimes people things are weaker. Many an album by lots too many to list are the best. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's this because I mean especially if there's a weaker album but that could have been somebody's first album that they used their own money to spend, so they have a nostalgia for that. I've heard a lot of people talk about that really when they get an album but they know it's not the best in their catalog, but because it was like their first album they bought, or it was the first album they used their own money for, they have a lot of nostalgia for it, so it's got a special place in their hearts. So I get that. I get that. Paul really is a genius when you realize that he was able to make the sentence "simply having a wonderful Christmas time" sung 200 times in a row sound catchy. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I like
to
the
each
song,
their own.
okay, but a lot of
Yeah,
people don't like that song. General people.
right. Brad says, Tom, you should also check out Bourbon and Beyond down here in Louisville in September. Ringo plays one of those nights. Okay. Well, all you had me at Bourbon. You had me at Bourbon. Nice. Enjoy the Dylan show. Have you looked? Yes, I have. I have. I keep cheating when it comes to set lists. I can't wait, and I have to. I have to. I have to look. He's playing. I know he's playing "It Ain't Me, Babe," and I've always loved him doing that song.
But will you
Uh,
recognize it? That's the question.
that's the question. That's the question. Whoa, them Dylan concerts are hard. Listen, enjoy the best you can. Yeah, I mean, again, he's a bucket list performer. I have never seen Dylan before, and I want to at least say that I've seen
Yeah,
him
oh yeah,
once.
for sure. I've seen,
You
I
know,
saw Dylan twice. One time in 1989, and he sucked. And
yeah,
I'm a Dylan fan. I have most of his albums and some of the
right,
bootlegs. But and then I saw him in 2013 with the Tempest album he was doing, which I liked that album.
right,
And I thought he was better in 2013. But
okay, right. You know, um, love the word. It should be used more often. There you go. Let's see here. Tony says the very best of John Lennon is a perfect compilation because it has many deep tracks and it made me a fan.
that's
Okay,
good.
but are deep tracks part of the very best? That's
Yeah,
I guess okay.
I think they can be. I mean,
Yeah,
it depends what they are. Deep tracks. In Lennon's case,
yeah,
like I know, or something maybe, or out the
yeah.
blue.
Marine says many a time people think a B side is going to be weaker. McCartney or anybody, they're missing out. Yeah, I mean, especially McCartney. A lot of times the B side is just as strong or on the same level as the A side.
That's an interesting question. I'm starting to just made me think. Has there ever been a topic discussed about McCartney B sides that are better than the A side? I don't. I can't
Yeah.
offhand. I can't think of them, but I have to see a list.
Right. Well, I mean, is Sally G better than
Julius
Julius
Fargo.
Farr?
It's good.
Is
It's very good, but not
is
better.
yeah, is Oh Woman Oh Why better than Another Day?
Close. Close.
Is daytime, nighttime suffering better than Good Night
Well,
Tonight?
some people do feel that. I've heard
Yeah.
that. That's a song that gets a lot of, if you want
Right.
to call it a deeper cut or something. That's one that gets a lot of love. That whenever you mention it.
Is Girl School better than Mull of Kintyre?
Oh boy, I have to say no, I have to say no, but it's really right there.
Right. Is I know this is a double A side, but is Sea Moon better than Hi Hi Hi?
No.
Is Little Woman Love better than Mary Had a Little Lamb?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where it is. We found one. Hey, I got one. I should have thought of that one. Good one, Tom. I heard that again the other day
Yeah.
because I have a compilation CD. It's called The Beatles 1970 to 75. It takes like
Okay.
a bunch of
Right.
they try to make a Beatle album out of it with solo stuff, and that comes up in 1972, and I'm like, no,
Right.
God.
Here's an interesting thing from Wink. It says physical media for a redone anthology, or will it be on Disney Plus?
Well, if Disney's handling it, it'll be on Disney Plus. Now that I think of it.
Right. Yeah, same here. I would like to think that they would release some physical media for that, but it could be it could very well be just released on Disney Plus because again, that's the way it looks like it's been going, right? I mean, a lot of this stuff is getting dropped on Disney Plus
Or at
now.
least the start, even though they say Disney's not fond of putting physical media out anymore, although I thought they were changing back on that.
Yeah, yeah, they they have a deal with Sony, who is now distributing their films, and now and then they just now made a deal to release Tombstone because they own the studio that released Tombstone, so they're finally releasing that on Blu-ray.
But I got to think that if they debut it on Disney or something, it's going to have to eventually get a physical release.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
Well, there'll be a lot of bootlegs because people out there are
Yeah.
professional bootleggers these days. They'll make them
Right.
if you don't.
Tony says, would you see a concert of Timothy Chalamet singing Bob Dylan songs?
My feeling on that is, I like I said, I am a Dylan fan, not a huge one, as I am Beatles, and I can enjoy Dylan singing on them.
Right.
Having said that, I think Timothy Chalamet does a great job, and I think he even sounds a little better than Bob by a little bit. So yeah, in other words, I would see a concert. Would I go out of my way and really tough to see it? No, but if it was easy to
Right.
do, yeah, I would see it.
Yeah, I would like to see Dylan first before I committed to seeing Chalamet first. I guess Joe, you got to be pumped for that Lennon multi box set in October.
Yes, I am, and I'm still wondering. We don't know for sure if they're going to have the album sometime in New York City as part of the box. That might be a way of getting that thing out, kind of like on the quiet, like get it in with the
Right.
box of the one-to-one concerts.
Right.
I don't know.
Bros just said recently rewatched Tombstone. Val Kilmer should have got. Well, he was good. He was good. I don't know if he was, Oscar worthy for that, but yeah, it was good. Let's see here. Henry says Timothy does. excuse me. Timothy does good covers of Dylan, but his voice is more clear and not as whiny,
Yeah.
which is a part of Dylan's charm.
There's an old saying: nobody sings Dylan like Dylan.
Right. And I thought he was fantastic on Saturday Night Live. I thought he did the covers that he did of Dylan's. I thought he did
Which
a great
I
job.
missed.
Yeah. So yeah, I like Wonderful Christmas Time, but Happy X-Men blows it out of the water. X-Men has Happy Xmas, blows it out of the water. It's a beautiful epic. Yeah, it's a fantastic song. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we've all said that "Happy Christmas" might be the better of the two songs, but "Wonderful Christmas Time" might be the catchier of the two. Right on, Joe. You nailed it about Dylan. Okay. See, Tom, didn't Paul do a theme song for? Yes, I want to come home for Everybody's Fine film. Yes.
See, that's why I want, if you want to call it cold cuts or something like that, I want
Right.
some box of Paul that has all these stray things, even if we've got them on the archives, even if we got them here and there. I want them
Right.
all on one set,
One
everything.
collection. Right. Yeah, I get you. I get you. Mike says 4 months until Chicago. That reminds me, I got to call and reserve a room.
Two things I got to do. I'll find out. One of them I did. Well, the first thing is I got to get some money if I'm going to go. I reserved the room already, but I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
going. It depends if I can get some cash. Second thing is I forgot about. I have to get enhance my license thing.
Oh, the license. Yeah.
This thing about you can't travel domestically now unless you get it enhanced so you can travel. I have to do that.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, we're getting closer. One of his best B sides, "Kicked
Yeah,
Around No More." Love it.
that's a
Love
good
it.
one.
Yeah. Girls' School better than Mole. Yes, James does agree with that. Let's see here. Sean really knew what he was doing when he worked on "Give Me Some Truth Box." Said it was perfect, the absolute best of Lennon. Didn't he do take out the horns in one of the tracks on
Yeah,
"Give Me Some Truth"?
I did a review and I loved it overall what he did with that. But I did
Right,
criticize the fact that he doesn't like horns, saxophone. He doesn't like these too much, and he took the horns out of the song on it
right,
called "Steel and Glass" on that album.
right,
And I said that in my review. And then when I wound up talking to Sean through email, communicating with him, he appreciated that I wasn't afraid to say what I didn't like as well as what I did.
right.
So yeah, some people think that you're just gonna if you're gonna get like free stuff from them, you're going to only praise everything. Well,
Praise it.
that's not
Right,
me. You know.
right. Yeah. No, and I'm sure he appreciates that, and we all appreciate that. We want honesty. You know. What do you think of the Fourth of July? Well, here's the single, right here, Fourth of July from John Christie, um, uh, Dick Clark Productions. No, I'm sorry, Dave Clark. Written by Paul and Linda McCartney, and produced by Dave Clark. Yeah. I love this track. I love Paul's version and I love John Christie's
And
version,
there's another
which is
one that while I've heard of the title, I don't know it.
yeah,
There's some of those that sneak through there, B-sides that I love, like, "A Woman, Oh Why," "Country Dreamer," a
right.
bunch of those, and ones that I still have to catch up with or that I don't remember,
This is on his Paul's version is on the Venus and Mars archive release.
which I have.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a
Yes, which
while.
you have, and it's fantastic.
I
But
like My
John,
Carnival. I like that.
yeah, yeah.
But
But John Christie's version is it doesn't steer far from Paul's version. So, but yes, I love Fourth of July. See, that's a favorite of mine. "Kicked Around No More." Yep. See,
well, a lot of
saw
good
Dylan.
comments.
Yeah, getting to him. Saw Dylan in 2005. Couldn't understand a word. Willie Nelson was great. Yeah, he's touring with Willie Nelson too, an Outlaw uh, tour. Excuse me. Um, Val Kilmer played Jim Morrison. Yep, never seen the
He looks
film.
really good. He looks physically right. Talk about looking right for the
Yeah,
part. To me, he looked perfect.
yeah. I've always liked the movie The Doors, and remember, it's The Doors. It's not Jim Morrison and The Doors. It's The Doors.
Yeah, just like it's not Paul McCartney and the Beatles.
In
Just so you
Beatles,
the right guys out.
same
Some
thing.
people out there, some new
Well,
people
some
think
people
that's the
think it's
case.
John Lennon and the Beatles too,
Oh
though.
no, they thought
So
that back in 1980 to
okay,
1990. That's
so
long gone.
that's
I wish some people would remember was in them at all. To tell you
you
the
know,
truth.
yeah. Let's see, Rain Clouds better than Ebony and Ivory. Yes. To be honest with you, I've never been the biggest fan of Rain Clouds.
I love Rain Clouds, I do, but I even though Ebony and Ivory has a corny reputation these days, I gotta call Ebony and Ivory the better of the two. But I do like Rain Clouds.
Okay. Let's see here. Of all those 93 B sides are fab, which is why I want an off the ground box set. Well, there's no excuse for to not release an off the ground box set. Again, I mean, even if there was some legal issues with Back to the Egg, let's say, okay, well then what's stopping you from releasing another album in the archive set like Off the Ground? There's plenty of material to include on an off the ground box set.
Yeah, let's hope he does get the wings out of the way first, London Town and Back to the Egg, and then hopefully
Right.
some of that stuff. And the thing I wanted to say before that I forgot about sales. I mean, I've been through a lot of that. I used to get that with VHS tapes when before you had DVD. They used to say, well,
Right.
this last batch didn't sell well. Sometimes that's true. They say, oh, well, since they didn't sell that well, let's forget it. Forget it. They do that with things, but other times they do it anyway. Because who's to say that I don't know, London Town won't sell better than one of the other
Right.
ones,
Yeah.
and maybe
Yep.
you could tone down the extras a little so the price comes down a little bit. When I say tone down the
Well,
extras, I mean some of them.
the,
I want a book. I want the
yeah.
books. I like them.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, I like how extensive some of those box sets are.
Yeah,
In material, I like the little replicas of stuff. The Wings Over America had a lot of little replicas of like tickets and
yeah.
stuff like that, in them, which was great. But yeah, I mean, there are ways to tone them down. I mean, listen, the London Camp are proving that you can do these great box sets more affordably than the McCartney.
Yeah, and as I keep saying, so many other, I never have them handy when I need them. So many other artists have box sets that you wouldn't think
Right,
they even warranted. I always pick on the Trogs as an example. I mean, I don't know what they're Wild Thing and maybe something else that they're
right,
known for, but they got a box. I mean, everybody's got boxes. You're telling me Ringo
yeah,
can't have the 1973 Ringo album,
right.
or Paul can't have London Town? Yeah, come on.
Right. It makes no sense, really. All right, Brad, I'll play along with you on this one. My favorite Monkees B-side is Going Down, which is the flip side of my all-time favorite Monkey song, Daydream Believer.
I
Okay.
like I like both those songs.
We're going to get rid of that comment as soon as possible.
Great stuff.
Uh,
Daydream Believer is just as a Paulie song as
right.
anything else.
Here we go. What's the greater supergroup, the Highwaymen or Traveling Wilburys? Both are amazing. I will say the Traveling Wilburys because a lot of the songs are them writing them. There's a lot of covers. The Highwaymen do a lot of covers. If they did more writing, new material. And Joe, do you know who the Highwaymen are?
No.
Okay, so that was the super group of Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, and Chris Christopherson.
Oh,
Okay, all right.
well, I don't know them,
Uh,
so
right,
I mean, I know the individual guys.
right,
I didn't know the group.
right. Yeah, they did a super group in the '80s, just like Traveling Wilburys, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Anyone familiar with the version of Cold Cuts that starts with Girl School? I do have a couple of versions of
yeah. I have a
Cold
vinyl
Cuts.
album, but I don't know what's the start of it.
Right, but I have to go back and see the track listing. Wink says, agree with you, Joe. I love Dylan. Saw Dylan once when he toured with the Heartbreakers. I came out loving Petty and thinking Dylan sucked. Songs were almost over before we figured out
Yeah,
what he was playing.
yeah.
There you
That's
go.
what happened when I saw him in '89, and he did not address the audience once. Didn't say anything. Walked
Really?
on and off, and never
Hmm.
talked to anybody. I said thank you, nothing. I didn't like him in '89, but he's better these days. I see him getting up at the end, while he's sitting down,
Yeah.
and he gets up at the end.
Henry says, I can't stand how Netflix and Amazon produce films don't get physical releases. Every film should have a physical release. I agree with that. Netflix were doing some physical releases in the past, but yeah, they did have a deal with Criterion to release some of their films, which they have, like The Irishman and other films. Um, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of that either. Not a big fan of that either. One of my favorite B sides is "You Know My Name, Look Up My Number."
I
Okay.
love it.
All right, Henry. We're not going to start a war,
I
so
don't
we're
mind
not
that
going to.
quote.
You don't mind?
I,
Okay. Well, here you
I
go.
agree. Oh no, I thought it was another one. I thought it was another
No,
one. I
no,
mean,
no, no. Neil Diamond
oh,
is the
okay.
reason
Oh,
why the
that's a lot of
monkeys became
malarkey, but
free.
okay,
There you
sure.
go.
And he wrote, Henry, you're too young to even know. They wrote some songs themselves. Other people, Carole King, Jerry
Well,
Goffin.
well, let's
It's not
talk
just
about
all
that
about
for
you.
a second. Because you have talked about this before, how people might be too young to know,
Right.
but but
In his
so
case, he
so
is.
so but you can't be a historian though and learn about that
Oh,
stuff.
stop. Okay,
Okay.
stop. You're right. 100% right.
Right.
In Henry's case, this individual is too young to
Right.
know because he used to be on my chats all the time, and he would say
Right.
things like, "I've only heard like 3 Elvis songs so far. I don't think
Right.
Elvis is that much," or something like that.
Right.
So I mean, I'm not saying everybody, of course not. It's not fair to younger people, and I'm sorry it came out that way, folks, because I didn't mean to speak in absolutes. There are some people that are young people that know more than I do that into it. They
Uh,
really,
well,
well, I'm being nice, but they
yeah, I
can
know.
know more than we do.
Right. Right. Oh,
But
absolutely. Absolutely.
in the case of Henry, with all respect, Henry, there's been times, we tease you. You'd be like,
Yeah.
hey, the best black and white film ever made is not Citizen Kane. Help me. 12
Uh,
Angry Men.
12 Angry Men. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Because you didn't see too many black and white films.
Right.
Which is,
Right.
it
Yeah.
is, by the
And
way,
to
it
your
is one of
point,
the, it
it
is one of the,
is. Right. But maybe see more than 5 black and white films before you decide to make that judgment.
yeah, but this is just an incorrect statement anyway. I mean,
I love it. Going to the McCartney years, a Paul and Wings tribute act next week. He does a fantastic job. Now, I've heard of the McCartney years. I had actually gotten in contact with them many years ago to possibly have on as a guest on Two Legs, but it just didn't pan out. But I hope you have a good time, Charlie. I hope it's a good time. Joe, any update on the health of Yoko? Haven't hear a peep in 7 months or so.
I haven't heard anything either. But
Yeah.
I'm just unfortunately, suspecting she's not doing very well. You
Right.
know.
Let's see. Brooks Chalamet breaking into Three Angels on SNL in 2025 was surreal. Glad he did that. Yeah, that was one of the songs he performed on SNL. Let's see. Hello, my fest pals. Uncle Paul, how are you, my
Uncle
friend?
Paul, what's up?
Yeah, I was watching the Mets lose. Okay. Well, I've been watching the Tigers win. Let's see here. It blows my mind that the Stones are still around after 6 years making great music and new albums. Long live Jagger and Richards.
I'll
What do you
say
think,
that
Joe?
now. I'll agree with you now, having loved Hackney Diamonds. But before I heard that, I wasn't saying that.
Yeah. Let's see. Uncle Paul Sean has a lot of horns to
Yeah.
remove from elephant's memory. There you go.
I don't. I thought of that myself, and I don't think he's going to go that far. I'm
Right.
thinking. I hope not.
Let's hope not. I love my Inherited Wings Across America tour books and stuff from my sis. Cool. I love to hear that. I love to hear that. Well, woman is the blank of the world be in the film. Well, if he's going to have a lot of angry fans, if not so.
Well, I'm pretty sure. First of all, I don't know if you're talking about this one that I'm going to see this Friday, the 1-to-1 documentary. It's not in that,
Right. It's not in
but
that, but we were hoping it's going to be in the box set.
yeah, the box set. And if
Yeah.
it's not, yeah, then you talk about what I just said about complaining
Right.
about things and not being afraid to be honest. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll let my feelings out if they don't include that in there.
Right, because it's part of the set list, right? It's part of the album. Just deal with it. People grow up and deal with it. Uh, excuse me. I'm sorry. The Stones have so many great songs Love how Scorsese uses them constantly. Yeah, I love how he uses the song "Tell Me" in the movie called Mean Streets. Um, good scene there. Now, John nowadays has been portrayed as lazy, talentless slacker who never would have made it without McCartney.
Well,
Well, I don't
I
agree with that
agree, but not
100%.
everybody that he's treated
Uh,
like that, and worse. Don't forget the other things about him.
there's been a lot of things written about John in the last 20 years where that doesn't put him in the best of light. Some of these things, unfortunately, are true. Okay, but
You exaggerated it.
he
He
did
talked
cheat
about
on
all
Yoko
that stuff
Ono
in his
on
lifetime.
I know that, but I mean, not everybody got the chance to. That's where the historian part comes into it. Okay, don't be lazy. Do the research. Okay, and you'll be fine. All
And I
right.
want you to have that when the day comes that we do lose Paul one day,
Yeah.
which hopefully won't be
Right.
for a while, but when it does
Yeah.
happen, and after the grieving is over and people write books and start talking about all his
We'll
flaws and
welcome
stuff.
that. We will welcome that just as much as the ass kissing.
Mm.
I mean, I have guests, that won't come on the show until he's gone, for the most part, because there's going to be
It's going to happen.
some
And the
yeah
thing about him is
yeah
he is has such a squeaky clean, perfect image, or he tries to,
right
that it's going to
right
be all shocks, and people are not going to want to believe it.
uh,
Whereas John
right
Lennon, we all knew that he was,
right.
very human and had flaws. He talked about it. He sang about it. He talked about it
Talked
in
about it and
interviews.
sang about it all the time.
You know,
He did not shy away from that stuff, which is one
yeah,
of the things that I love about him. Let's see here. Come on. Tomorrow I will start the new Ringo book from Luca. Okay, cool. I still need to pick that up.
yeah.
Uh,
What's that book again? What is it? Geez, so many books. What is
it's
that
just
about? What is?
it's like a Ringo. It's just like the McCartney is idea or the music is idea book that Luca wrote about Paul McCartney. It's a discography book.
Yeah,
I don't know. The big deal over Waterspout is about its twee,
you
and
got
the
to have me on
best.
here a
What's
lot.
it?
I agree.
Yeah,
What is it about that song? Everything you said, I could have
love
said.
comes in, love goes out. You know.
Out of the what is the rest of it? Out of the water spout, love comes in. But of course, what else would it be about? Love comes in, love comes
Right.
out of the water spout.
Uh, I love it. Love Sweet Sweet Memories is another one that I from the Off the Ground sessions that I thought
Right.
would have made the
That's
finished
not. That's a
product
good one.
better.
I remember that one.
Yeah. Let's see here. Back in the day, was John was viewed as the brains, the genius, the boss. Well, listen, I have no problem saying. I mean, listen, he was the boss, right? He started, or
At
he
the
was the
beginning. At the
leader.
beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he was the leader. Okay.
At the beginning. Well, they used to say. There is no leader, but if there is one, I guess it's John. That kind of thing. That's
Right.
what they used to say.
Right.
Um, but and this attitude, by the way, carried on as my memory when John was still alive into the 70s,
Right.
the latest 70s, and and not just after he died, but
Right.
what can I say?
Yep.
Now I don't feel that so much myself either anymore as much as I used to.
Hmm. John made fun of the zombie songs, having a box set. Haven't heard many songs,
Very
but
good.
love
Yeah,
them.
right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I think it is funny that they have. Well, they don't have that many. They only have 2 albums. How many albums do they have? They only have. They don't have many
Oh,
albums.
Joe's made fun of the
Yeah,
zombie.
he's
Okay.
trying to say that I'm contradicting
Oh,
myself or whatever about the monkeys thing. But the thing is, as I say, I don't care to know any more by them. I'm happy with the three. You could say the
right.
same thing about the monkey, but I'm not going to say. I'm not going to make a statement saying, I don't know. The only thing they have any good is that those three songs that are popular
Right.
because I don't know the rest of them.
And there's some like you. I mean, there's some acts that have great hits, which I would be just fine with the greatest hits. Badfinger, for example. I have no desire to get their
Yeah, me
catalog.
either. Me either.
No desire.
And I'm sure there's a lot of other good songs they did that I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's a
Brad
good one.
says those of us older Gen Xers got to see the Monkees on Saturday morning. Well, I got to see them in the later '70s on TV.
There's
Okay.
something. There's I think
Yeah.
Mickey Dolenz peed in his cornflakes or
Yeah.
something. Something happened with
Right.
Tom.
So I mean, Brad. I mean, yes, you got to see them, but they got they Monkees were on syndication for many years. So I did get to see them, and plus, MTV. I watched them when MTV played them as well.
And for if
Um,
it's worth anything to anybody, I love the Monkees' music. I don't like the
yeah,
TV show.
right. All right, here we go. Hard Day's Night, black and white. So now we're going to get into all these black and white stuff. The
Oh
Raging Bull is a
boy.
great black and white film. Yes, I agree there. Elvis was lucky he had a great voice because he couldn't dance right. Well, he could dance. What are you
See,
talking about?
this is an asinine comment. He could dance, number one. He
Yeah,
didn't write songs, no. And some people would disagree with you that when his heart was in it, you probably never saw King Creole a day in your life, right, Henry? And that, by the way, is black and white. I don't know if I
right.
can handle it, but anyway, he's very good in that, and some other movies, a few of the other movies.
Yeah.
When he really wanted to, and it wasn't just a stupid blanket bingo silly movie.
I mean, you can have a hot take about something, but know the subject matter before you make that hot take. Okay, you know what you're complaining about or having the hot take about
And
before
I
you
don't
make that
miss this
hot
stuff
take.
with you, Henry, on my channel
Yeah.
at all. By the way,
The title. Well, okay, well, so they won the first two, but they lost the game finale, or the series finale. Oh well. Um, Elvis acting was held back by Colonel Tom Parker in the studios, who insisted he play the same thing all the time. That's like the Monkees albums, right? They had the system, and it was a very successful system, right? But then once the acts, they want to start, having integrity, and they want to start doing things their own way, like the Monkees did, and the Monkees had success once they started taking over their career, but their sales also started to dip as well. How
somewhere. Where's the statement? I saw it. I can't find it. Where Henry
okay.
said something about "I'm a believer." He was trying to talk about. Man, unless he deleted it, I can't find it.
Yeah, I
Oh,
haven't
there it.
seen
Oh, it's
that one.
coming up. Oh, there it
It's
is.
coming up. Yeah,
Now
I'm
you
just
say
saying I'm a
I'm a
believer.
believer. I'm sorry. You can read it if you want first.
I'm just saying. Here you go. Well, first of all, you're ripping on Joe's rant video right here by the first line. I'm just saying. I'm a
All
believer.
right.
See, you're supposed to end with that saying, Henry, not start with it. I'm a believer is the biggest Monkey song and put them on the map, and it's the genius of Neil Diamond. Well, I mean that wasn't their first single.
Last Train to
Um,
Clarksville was, I believe, before that.
Yeah,
I think.
and the Monkeys theme was also a single as well, right? Before that, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, the Monkeys theme. I don't know if that was that a single. I don't even know if it was.
Yeah.
Probably was, but I don't. But anyway, but see, that's all you know. So you don't know. Brush up and get back to me.
Yes. Let's see here. Winks, Skyler or Joe Mayo? Who knows more? You be the judge. We'll just keep
Well,
moving on from that
I
one.
can't. I don't do the cosplay thing as good as she does.
Right.
She does a
Right.
lot of cosplay.
Yes, she does it well.
She does that well.
Let's. Yes. Tony says young people should know about the Marx Brothers. Yeah, I agree. I love crime movies, black and white, 30s to 50s, especially Public Enemy, James Cagney, Strangers on a Train, Hitchcock movie. Yeah, I love those 30s, the 50s gangster film, the Warner Brothers
Yeah, I got a whole set
gangster
of
films.
those. Absolutely. I hope they play still. I think they were in. That's a whole other video I haven't made.
Oh, the whole Warner Brothers
The Warner
issue.
Brothers
Yeah,
disc that rotted and all
yeah,
this. I think that's from
yeah.
that period.
I heard that they will exchange those films though,
Yeah.
if you have issues with them. Let's see here. Wow, it's 2 hours in already. Wow, time has
Ooh,
gone by
wow.
quick. What was the first McCartney album a rollout you experienced after becoming a fan. I'm Andy's age, so flaming. It would be Flowers in the Dirt for me. Is the one that no, Press to Play. Press to Play would be the the one I remember being rolled out. When I actually knew what rolling an album out was,
What does that mean?
because
Just release? What does it mean?
just a release. Yeah, yeah,
Tell me
yeah.
which one it is for me because London Town, in 1978, I was at Seaside Heights in New Jersey on the boardwalk, and I won the album
Right,
as a prize with Spin the Wheel. The one I
right.
actually went to the store and bought, my first McCartney solo album, new as a new release, was Back to the Egg.
Yeah, so that's what he's saying. He's saying what you remember hearing the commercials for it. You knew the lead up single was leading up to the album.
Yeah, it's
You
Back
knew
to the
the
Egg then, I
you knew
guess.
you knew the release date. You were excited. You were going to the store to pick it up. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah. Paul paid off Linda's book deal with bad comments about Paul. Um, I don't remember that. Send me some information on that, Serge, please, because I'd like to read up on that. Second question: what was your second most exciting McCartney album rollout for each of you?
McCartney too.
Flowers in the Dirt.
They were all in order from there on. Back to the
Yeah,
Egg, McCartney too.
yeah. Sergio, wants to know what the book you're referring to. Okay, we're gonna. All right, let's not get into all of this. Let's not rehash old memories, Henry. Okay.
Well, Vertigo's a color.
Yeah, yeah. See, John's behavior was no better, worse than those Hollywood freaks or politicians. Not that I'm justifying it, unless you've made no mistakes your own. Be careful who stone. Exactly, the first stone. If you're perfect, then cast your stone. But nobody's perfect.
I
Okay.
think a lot of
Yeah.
the problem with John is that a lot of people then and now expect him to be different because he's a Beatle. He's
Right.
supposed to be. You don't have affairs. You don't. Get divorced. You don't
Right.
have
Yeah.
problems with your first child, or he's a human being like anybody else.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. When I was 10, monkeys were it for me. As a 13-year-old, Magical Mystery Tour, Sgt. Pepper's White Album, had no idea about drug culture or what the songs meant. Over my head, my friend, that's that same age. I can understand that. I think you could still like those songs. I had no idea about the drug issues because when I first was starting listening to those albums, and I didn't really necessarily think they're all drug related or whatever. I still enjoyed those songs. To me, Joe, I mean, what did you? Your thoughts on the drug the culture thing with those three particular albums, or
I don't know. I think they played a role. I definitely think they had something to do with it. I don't think
yeah,
they necessarily recorded when they were high all the time or
right,
acid all the time. But I think that had something to do with it. And yes, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds as well. That's a whole other thing. People say John is lying, when he says that wasn't LSD. What I think all he means is that he didn't choose the name Lucy Sky Diamonds because of LSD. I,
right,
I still think that it had
yeah,
drug imagery in it.
yeah. Well, okay. There's a vote for Hard Day's Night as the best black and white film.
It's certainly up there.
Thought Linda had a friend who maybe was writing Linda, and Paul was upset about some comments from Linda. Can't remember his name. Okay, we'll have to look into that. We'll have to look into. And Danny Phil, I'm going to write that down and do some research of my own on that. So 1 second here. All right. Okay. Let's see here. Next up, Brad Beach Blanket Bingo is not stupid. It's the best of the beach party movies. I mean, Paul Lynn and Don Rickles hilarious. Plus, you get Marta Kristen as a mermaid.
I like Lost in Space with Marta Kristen, but
Yeah,
I saw some of those. The Annette Funicello. I don't know which ones we saw. Muscle Beach Party and something.
yeah,
They were bad. They were bad. I mean, I like. And by the way, I like movies like that. All those Elvis Beach movies. I have fun with them because I take them for what they are. But I thought those other ones, some of those Muscle Beach Party and those, I didn't
yeah.
think they were just as good or fun as fun. I don't know.
Okay. The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. There you go.
Yeah.
That's the whole concept right there. Okay. Thank you, Serge. Last Train was a big hit for the Monkees.
Yep.
Yeah. Tony, take care. Thanks for popping in.
Well,
Appreciate you, my friend.
another
And have a good one too. Broad Street,
another
thank
one
you
we were.
again, my friend.
Oh, I love these comments,
Uh,
Henry.
Here we go. Elvis was no doubt talented, but a lot of his contemporaries who were more talented, like Buddy Holly and Chuck Berry, got overshadowed because of him, in my opinion.
All right. Well, you can have your opinion if it's your opinion, but I think Buddy Holly was pretty well regarded and Chuck Berry as well.
You're right. Yeah, Buddy Holly was a huge influence on the Beatles and was a producer, singer, writer, and he died way too soon. Well,
Absolutely. By the way, did you know
yeah,
that Elvis Presley was a big influence as well? Did you know
right.
that?
Yeah,
And
and Chuck
also
Berry,
Chuck Berry.
That'll Be the Day is a great, and the Quarrymen did a great cover of it before the Beatles were a thing. Okay.
It was all right there, but they weren't very good. The Quarrymen.
Let's see. Peter Cox had the recordings with Linda and Paul. Paid him, what was that, 300K for it, for the tapes?
Those
Okay.
Linda tapes, man.
Yeah.
Ooh, like
We
the
got to get our
those.
hands on that. Got to get our hands on that. Um, but all right, so that's we caught up with the comments. We're gonna give it maybe a few more minutes here. See how this goes. But guys, great comments, great questions. Appreciate everything. And
Yeah, it was fun. Good
yeah,
questions. Ooh, good comments.
yeah, yeah. Keep them coming. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll stick around. I'll stick around. Joe, you don't have to, but if you want to,
Well, you got time
yeah.
for 30,
Right.
40 more
More
questions.
trees.
I got nowhere else to
um,
go.
yeah, I'm gonna go see a movie at 7. Uh, and so I still got 2 hours yet. So
It's funny. Yeah, my girlfriend and I, we were out there. You want to go see a movie? Ain't the good playing? I said, man.
so
uh,
I did see a movie the other day called The Luckiest Man in America.
oh,
And it's about remember that game show Press Your Luck, the no whammies, no whammies, no
yeah, I don't
whammies.
know the game.
Okay, well, anyways, he memorized the board. Okay, and he at the time in 1984 he was the highest game show winner at that time. He won over 110,000 dollars on the game show. Um, but they he memorized the board. I guess that apparently there was only like 5 patterns, and he memorized all 4. So he, so I don't know if that's cheating. Just because you memorize something, is that cheating or, you know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I won't find out either.
No, no, I'm not going to go see the Minecraft movie, Henry. Sorry. But excuse me. Well, I showed I showed the all the best singles set earlier in this live stream, Joe. So again,
Yeah,
thank you. And if you need extra
sure.
money, you know which one I want next.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, let's see here. Doc says, what is Doc going to say here? If Tom is going to go see Minecraft, you better wear a helmet and other protection. No, not going to see Minecraft. I can't wait to see Ari. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Ari Aster's. Can't wait to see what his next movie is going to be. A great show, great conversation. I saw the Press Your Luck movie change the way they do game shows. Absolutely, yes. Yeah. Let's see, Tom. Have you seen the trailer for One Battle After Another? No. I'll check that out though. Let's see here. Who else can boast Paul Williams, Neil Diamond, Carole King, Harry Nilsson, Boyce and Hart, and John Stewart, all composers. You know who. So is that? That's those are all people that wrote monkey songs.
So,
I guess.
I know one movie that's coming up that nobody's asked about in the comments or here. It's called One to One, John and Yoko.
One
I
to
wonder.
one.
And see, then when I say John's
Right.
forgotten, people say, no, he's not. Well, look at all this stuff coming out. I don't mean, folks, I don't mean the stuff that's coming out. I know Sean and the team are putting the stuff out. What I'm asking is,
Right.
how many fans really care besides
Right.
some of us?
I'm seeing it tomorrow at 6. So I'm
Well,
looking
oh, you
forward to
are?
it. Yeah. Yes, I am.
Ooh-wee. Wow, I wonder
Yes,
why
I
I
am.
couldn't get that early. I don't know. I wound up only getting the 11th Friday.
Okay. What's next for Two Legs Saturday show? Well, we're taking this week off because we posted an episode last week, which we normally take the first Saturday of every month off. Okay, so we're taking so since we posted on the first weekend, we're taking this weekend off. And we're still deciding what we're going to do for the next episode. So you won't see a new episode this Saturday, but you will see a new episode next Saturday. Are we looking forward to? I am. Yes, I am very much looking forward to the new Superman movie. James Gunn, I think, is a fantastic filmmaker. He took a superhero group like the Guardians of the Galaxy that no one knew except for hardcore superhero comic book fans, and he turned that into a multi-billion-dollar trilogy of films. So I think he can do a great job with Superman. I think Serge was talking about Linda's best friend Blair Sobel, who did a hit piece on Linda from. Yeah, right. Yeah, she did. That's right. She was an expert. I think that was in McCartney. I think that was in the Legacy Part 2, Ted. But good point. Good point. Um, in the UK, I think John is still remembered and highly regarded.
Well, they say that a lot. But yeah, I have to take your word for it. I guess they're not the ones posting on Facebook things because I mean it's just diarrhea of hate against John on that. I guess
Right,
the UK people aren't posting.
right. Let's see. As far as game shows, watch the Paul Lynde Best Jokes Hollywood Square. I remember growing up watching Paul Lynde on the Hollywood Squares, and some of his jokes went over my head, and I got some of them, and
Yeah,
he was pretty funny.
that's good stuff.
I'm looking forward to Superman just to see Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Yeah, Nicholas Hoult is a great actor. He's quietly coming up with a very good filmography, if you will. And Peter, thank you very much. That's very nice of you.
Peter,
Um, really appreciate that. And again, great job on your portrait there of the suitcase and all of us surrounding it. Anyways, Joe, because you dislike how movies aren't original anymore, it's nothing but superheroes and remakes. Check out A24 films.
well, that's your quote, not mine. I would say a lot of them are not original anymore, and a lot of it's too many superheroes and remakes. But I can't say only that's all that.
Right.
And there are no original ideas, or there are no non-superhero movies. I wouldn't say that.
Right. The problem is a lot of these films, a lot of these original films that are coming out, that they're not getting promoted at all. Again, the movie that I just saw, the Luckiest Man in America, I thought was very good, but I had seen no commercials for it. I had not seen no advertisings for it, which is a shame because there's a lot of great movies coming out that no one's seeing because they're not getting any advertised dollars for it. Are you guys surprised that CGI can still look horrible in 20? Yeah, yeah. Just look at a film, the Furioso film that came out last year, the Mad Max film. Even though I did like the movie itself, but some of the CGI was pretty bad in the film, unfortunately.
I'm not surprised that it still looks bad.
Yeah. The
Are you
Naked Gun.
telling me there's a remake for the Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen? Are you telling me that?
Yeah. Yep.
No
Yep.
way. I mean, no
Yep.
way will I accept that. No way.
Yep. Yes.
You can't. Leslie Nielsen is the guy.
I guess it depends how much you spend. Crypto did look great. Yeah, I mean that's a good point too. It's like these movies are that have a lot of CGI in them. They cost a lot of money. And then you look at a film like the work that they do on Crypto and Superman, and then you look at the work they did on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and you see the dwarves in them, and you're just like, who's in charge of these effects? I thought they looked terrible.
The Crypto is who? Who's
Crypto
Crypto?
is Superman. Is Superman's dog.
I thought so. Oh my god, I thought
Yeah,
so. Well,
yeah,
okay, so the dog they're gonna make a CGI dog, right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah.
You can't use train a real dog like they used to do with Lassie and everything. Why can't they do that? You can have the new movies, folks. I don't want them.
Enough Star Wars movies. Sick of. Yeah. Well,
Oh,
there
for
hasn't
sure.
been one in a while.
After the first three.
Those dwarves were hastily added. Yeah. Whatever. They're terrible. I always say to people to go see the original films and make them the highest grossing films. They will be made more if people pay regurgitated trash, and that's what Hollywood will keep pumping out.
Wait a minute. Well, first of all, the thing about that is there's a problem. I know what you're saying, but the problem is, what do you do when that's what's on the menu? People, I always say people can only go to see what they're offered.
Right.
So it's a circle. It's like, well, the superhero films regurgitated trash is what people are seeing, so we'll make more. But you're not giving them, or they are really, right, Tom? They're giving them other choices, but nobody goes to see those.
No, I mean, no, I mean those Marvel movies are still very high, very very successful.
Well, take them off the menu.
Yeah,
It's like you said.
yeah.
Well, if they don't put better stuff, make it like I can't explain it. Just put like I don't know what you call it, wholesome non-action blow up films on there, and give that's all you got to pick from, and they'll do well too. If you just give them a menu of just I don't know
Right,
stories and people and characters and no superhero, no over CGI, no action bonanzas, then they'll go pay to see what all the because they want to go to the movies. They'll have to pick from what you offer them. That's how I
right.
always feel.
Okay.
I like Brad's
Yeah,
comment.
and plus, yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Um, and plus, you got to advertise these people. You got to let people know that these movies are out as well. You just can't put them in the theater and expect people to flock to them if they don't know that they're out. You can't train a dog to have superpowers.
Well, I don't know what is super, but that's a silly statement, Brad, because they made Superman TV shows with George Reeves when there was no CGI. They made Christopher Reeve when there was Superman movies when there were no CGI. They had superpowers, but they found other ways to do it other than CG. So this idea that you can't take a real animal and a real person and give them superpowers, otherwise, without making the character itself a cartoon. You know, I call them a cartoon sarcastically when they do that, like a
Mm,
phony dog or something. Isn't true. I mean, they made Christopher Reeve look like he had superpowers, fly, he
right.
could fly and everything. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you wouldn't want to make Superman himself, would you? A CG phony character. You want him to be an actor
No,
portraying the
but you're
role.
still right, right. You still it's an actor, but I mean, when it comes to animals, I think it's you got to give a little bit of leeway when it comes
No,
to
they
animals.
never did in movies from the
Yeah,
30s, 40s, 50s. They didn't. That's my opinion anyway.
yeah.
I mean, look, I don't mind things like using CGI if you're doing a Marvel movie or a DC movie to do if you're going to shoot like a raise out of your hands, they use CGI, no problem. You're going to blow up
All
a
right.
building with your hands, they use CGI, that's fine. But I don't want the
Well,
character like the Hulk is now a cartoon. He's not a man in
right.
a costume or
It's
something. You
right.
know what I mean?
Right. I know. Well, it's a good thing they didn't use a real shark for Jaws.
Well, that's what I mean. They had
Yeah.
that's fantastic. They had to actually build the
Actually,
shark.
back to
It's so
shark.
freaking real.
Right. Right. Yeah. See Leslie Nielsen. Yeah. So Leslie Nielsen is that was played the original. Now I don't know why I can't remember the guy who's doing um, who's in the new Naked Gun now. I hate having a bad memory on certain things. I really do.
Oh, join the club.
Yeah.
You're getting up there,
Um,
right?
well, you know what? That's not 100% true because they did just re-release it in the theaters. Um, uh, yeah, sure, no one might not remake it anymore, but it's still a thing. I mean, they just re-released it to celebrate its 50th anniversary
Yeah. And
in the
anyway,
theaters.
why would you remake Blazing Saddles? I
Yeah,
know I know it's
right.
not literally happening, right? You just as an
Yeah,
example.
right,
I mean, come on, it's great at what it is. Hey.
right. Yeah, it's a shame Warner did not promote the new Looney Tune movies, but saved the catch-up. And yeah, so here's the thing: so Warner Brothers did make this movie, okay. However, they did not distribute it themselves. They sold the film off to someone else, to another company, for them to release because the man in charge he felt like the movie wasn't any good. So rather than releasing it, they offered it to another studio for them to take the risk. So that's why Warner Brothers didn't actually they made it, but they didn't actually release it. Yep, yep. Superhero franchises also make people waste their talent. Robert Downey Jr. Yes, they might be wasting their talent, but they're also making a ton of money while they're doing it. um, you know, um, Robert Downey Jr. for starring in the last Avengers movie, he took less up front, but took more money in the back end, and he ended up, just making tons and tons of money for. But I know what you're saying, Henry. Joe wanted James Gunn to cast an actual tree as Groot.
I don't know about. I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah. All these genres are cynical. What's that?
Cyclical
Yeah.
cycle.
The cycle. Yeah. They made westerns out of
Yeah.
zoos in the 40s and
Can I
50s.
ask you why everything today just lingers like rap? Where's the cycle of rap music?
Yeah.
Okay, disco was in and out. Disco was here for a while, then they stopped. New wave, in and out. Punk. Why does crap like rap go on and on for like what is it? How many decades is it? 5 decades now, or something like that? Why don't they get? How long are these superhero things been? It feels like they've been going on a long time now, 20 years or something. Where's
Well,
the cycle?
the recent resurgence of them, but I mean, we've been getting superhero movies for many decades.
Because it just seems that things to me, I know what you're saying, Brad, and I would agree, but it seems like things just linger and last more and more, and it's just the same old stuff over and over again. It seems like I can't tell the year 2007 apart from 2012, apart from 2020 to 2000. To me, it's all the same stuff. I don't know.
Right.
Was it the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire in 2004? It's like 20 years. Over
It was
20 years.
it was the early 2000s. They still make raunchy comedies. First time I ever watched Tropic Thunder, I damn near pissed myself last thing. Yeah, I mean there's still some raunchy ones out there, but it's not a normal thing anymore like it was. You're not gonna see movies like Porky's anymore. Really, rap music's still indoors because nothing has come along to replace it, and that's a shame. Yeah.
I have no problem enjoying the past. I personally have no problem. A lot of people went new. I just enjoy whatever it is, 1920 to like 1990, and I'm fine. I have no problem with that.
The rumble. I don't know what the mumble rap is. Has been gone for a few years. It was a fad. Pop music is the big thing again with Taylor Swift and others. Okay. I don't know. What no? Well, as a DC fanboy from the early '70s, I'm fine with the superhero movie
Well,
lingo.
I don't like the way they're making them now, and personally, they're stupid, they're comical, too silly, and I'm a Marvel guy. Make mine Marvel.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you're not going to see those though, are you?
No, they're stupid. I've seen some of them. They're ridiculous. Just a joke. And I did actually pick up a bunch of Blu-rays cheap that I got on the shelves back there. I don't know if I'm
Mm,
ever going to go through with them. I mean, just everything's a joke. What did I see that was a joke? Like the first Captain America, I thought was silly, and then like Thor is a joke. I mean, come on.
right.
I've seen some of the Batmans. Yeah, well, the thing is, I liked the Tim Burton Batman, the first one, and stuff like that back in 1989. That was dark
Right.
and serious. I know the Joker's silly. He's supposed to be. Well, he that's the opposite with the Joker. The Joker's supposed to be silly. Now he's just deadly. I don't know what he is now.
Right.
Serial murderer or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, enough of that. Okay.
Yeah, enough. Yeah, enough. This stuff doesn't interest me.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, it's been a pleasure being doing this live stream. A lot of
Go
great
back to the
comments.
bottom one. No, no, I'm not gonna let Henry get away with that about DC is greater than Marvel. The reason that Marvel was better as a comic book, and again, in this case, Henry, you are too young to know. Okay, when I was growing up, DC comic books. I'm not talking about the movies. I'm talking about the comic books. Were completely stupid and childish, and Marvel were real teenagers, like real people with problems. Tony Stark was a drunk. He had alcohol problems. Uh, Peter Parker, his girlfriend Gwen Stacy was killed, and he had problems dealing with his Aunt May, being ill. Marvel was way too was way more serious, not too serious, as a comic book when I was growing up. Now the movies may be a different story. You may be telling me the DC movies is more serious. What's that one I saw that was kind of stupid? Also, The Flash. I saw that The
Hmm.
Flash when it came out. I actually didn't hate it, but it
I'll,
was silly.
I know what you're saying, Joe, but I will disagree with you a little bit because as a DC person, I have experience reading DC comics, and I do know that there was the time where Green Arrow's sidekick Speedy, he was a junkie, so
Oh,
they dealt
okay.
with that,
Fair enough.
so there was a lot of realistic stuff. Barbara Gordon, Commissioner Gordon's daughter, was brutally raped and murdered, or not murdered, but
Really? It must not
brutally
be the
raped,
comics book.
and no,
Okay.
and the Killing Joke from the I think the late 80s. Yeah. So, but I get what you're saying. I
The
understand.
period I was reading, we had
Yeah.
Batmite and things
Right.
like that in there. I mean,
Yeah, Mr.
that's what I mean.
Mixoplex. Which is a
70s.
silly, which is a
What
silly
years were you
villain.
reading? Were you like reading
And
them?
I started getting into the 80s.
Yeah, see, I'm talking about
Mid
the
80s.
60s and the 70s,
Right.
like that, when I was looking at them,
Right.
you know.
Right.
I know about Bruce Wayne's parents. Yeah, I know about that.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna get these last few comments, and then we're going to shut this down. Ali, how you doing? Glad you're here, but we're gonna be shutting it down here now. Let's see. I entered the McCartney collaboration playlist for this. Okay, well, you
Oh,
didn't
you
have
can't
to,
please all
but
the
I
people all
appreciate.
the time.
That's right. So you got to please yourself. I was going to listen to Love Song for. Don't, please don't. That's like, in my opinion, the worst thing McCartney's ever associated himself with. Joe's talking about the Silver Age. I'm a Bronze. Okay, yeah, there are different age. Yeah, there are
Silver
different
Age, baby.
ages. Right. Yeah. Have you heard from MF Doom? He includes DC Comics cartoon clips in his rap songs. No. Let's see here. There's a new song by indie artist Djo that has a very Macca vibe called Charlie's Garden. Very Uncle Albert. No, okay. Let's see, Joe. DC Comics were childish because of the comic code posed on them.
Oh, so Doc at least admits
So
that they were.
well, I mean, Marvel still had the same comic code imposed on them.
Yeah. But
You know,
you got to remember, though, there's other things Tom's saying. I respect that. And I say, if I don't know, I don't know. It's that simple. But
right,
I'm only talking about when Brad and I started. I was talking about what we grew up with. And when I grew
right,
up, it just seemed like Marvel was more realistic, the serious day to day people. Whereas every time I saw
right,
like Batman comic, it was like completely
right.
silly
And
when I
and, and
was growing
Stan
up.
Lee, yeah, Stan Lee has stated that in a few interviews that he's done in the past, referring to that. Taking pride into having these characters deal with real day to day,
Yeah.
choices or decisions that, or aspects of their life that are challenging. Like death, like drug addiction, and stuff like that. So, yeah. Um, okay. Good night, Holly.
I don't agree, Brad. I don't agree with that last comment. Marvel made
Okay, let's
DC
see.
better.
Marvel
What a
made
lot of
DC better,
malarkey that
just like
is.
John and Paul made each other better.
Not when I was
Well,
growing up. By the
again,
time you were growing up, who cares anymore? Is my attitude about comic books, especially today. I've seen some. If you can pay for a $5 comic book or whatever it is, not twenty
uh,
cents anymore.
yeah, I mean, because I did, I
Yeah,
was starting to, get
very
back
dark.
into, some stuff again, and yeah, that's right, $3.99. It's just, I don't know if I'm
Hey,
gonna,
all I could say is
yeah,
make
yeah,
mine Marvel.
yeah.
I'm ready. I'm prepared here.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's the one thing that I've been getting into now is just more of the ambience.
Oh,
The John Byrne Superman, which I think is one of the better um, Superman runs in the history of Superman. But again, that it's just all up for your own opinion. Um, okay, so. Yeah, no, I know about that comic World's Finest with Paul McCartney on the cover. No, I never did.
yeah, I saw that. I never got it.
Yeah, never got it. But I'm going to. No, don't. Why? Why do you want to listen to your? Why do you want to ruin 4 or 5 minutes of your life by
Hey, wait a
listening
minute.
to?
Marvel Doc says Marvel books give me headaches. If they give you headaches, I'm surprised you don't like enjoy Lost in Space silly episodes a little better because they're like the DC ones. Like
Yeah. I'll agree with Henry on this one. I do think DC had better villains.
I don't think so.
Than
How
than
many
Marvel.
how many old classic comics have you read from the 60s and 70s of Marvel?
There you go.
Yeah,
Again,
how
you
this
got
turned into one of these old kind of things
yeah,
I used to do on here instead of talking. It was great. It was great at the beginning talking about Beatles and stuff, and well, McCartney, I should say. But
right.
we had fun with
All right.
that.
Well, I hope everybody's gonna go see this 1-to-1 documentary. I'll be there Thursday tomorrow. Joe, I hope you have a good time watching it. On Friday, I look forward to seeing your reaction video to that, which will probably be what Friday night or Saturday morning.
Yeah. Probably Saturday, I'm guessing.
Yeah. So I look forward to hearing your thoughts. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Hopefully, everybody out here, you guys are going to check it out as well. Don't forget to check out our latest episode from the fest with Adrian Sinclair and Alan Cozen. Joe, check out Talk More Talk with Joe and Kid O'Toole, Darren DeVivo, Ken Michaels, and you guys did a fun little topic about the best and worst decisions that each four made during their solo careers. Was it?
Hmm. Yes, we
Okay.
did. That's what we did. It's an interesting title.
Yep.
Interesting
Yep.
subject.
Yeah. And everybody have a great day out there. Okay. And don't
Okay,
Andy,
take care.
Andy will be live on Sunday. Don't forget to check that out as well. All right, everybody, take care.
Thanks.